Dan Leicht,
What's up, Mr. Adam?
back again.
I should just get a cot here.
I'm going to charge you rent. The last time we were talking about some stuff, I want to talk about something else. Plan B is the sheriff's department?
Well, it didn't start that way. So plan B for me was, I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? What would I want to do?
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah. So some guys I knew, I was working with, they're like, hey, we're all going to go test at the sheriff's department. You going to go? I'm like, what are you talking about? LA County Sheriffs are testing at the Star Center. You gonna go? Oh, I didn't know anything about it. You should go, dude. So I went. But I should say that none of them got hired. So I go.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah, I go and I do you do the written the first day, and they did a loose physical and then an interview.
Yeah.
That's how I did it.
Yeah.
And then they hand you the background stuff, and so it starts right. So I'll say, we'll see how this goes. In the interim, I finished all the other thing I needed to do. Did my whole background packet, turned it into the sheriff's department, who they give it to a background investigator. In the interim, I change jobs and I get hired at Long Beach Memorial Trauma Center. Plan B is in full effect. I want to be an RN. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to school. I'm already back to school. I'm already going to classes I got a degree. So I start taking that stuff. And with the sole intention of becoming a nurse, they told me, if you get hired at Long Beach Memorial and you want to be a nurse, the day you get your credentials to be a nurse, you're hired here. So I'm like, well, damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm thinking, I want to be an MICN. And they're like, oh, and we had them there, which mobile intensive care nurse.
Okay.
But because Long Beach Memorial has a helipad.
They have life flight.
Yeah. So they have their own. That's what I wanted to do. Now that's even more certifications, but that was my goal. That was my plan B. It's always swinging for the fences, dude. I never thought I'd be in like one of the top 5 art schools in the country, but anyway, that was the deal. So I'll never forget this. And this is how it gets into the sheriff's department. And early on in my life, excuse me, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I went through a lot of shit,
Yeah.
And so I get here and I'm doing great. I'm in the trauma center. And the way they did it back then, it was like a big cube. And it was 20 rooms. And they divided it right in the center. So this is your square. And they divided it right in the center. So they called low side, high side. Yeah. So they said, hey, Light, you're working high side today. Cool. You know exactly what that means. So I have the 2 trauma rooms. And I have the other 2 rooms connected to the trauma room.
Yeah.
And the low side has the other 10 rooms on the low side, but they also have the cardiac care unit, which had 7 beds.
Yeah.
So they have 17 beds, and I have 12. Mine's trauma, and there's usually that cardiac room is full all the time. So I'm working evening shift. I'm probably off at midnight, and it's I'll never forget the date, May 12th, 1995. So it's probably 10, and I'm off at midnight. And because Long Beach Memorial was a trauma center, they have all paramedics in that particular region have to call a base hospital, which Long Beach was, to get whatever they have, whether it's a gunshot victim, guy hit by a car. Before they do anything, they're going to start a line. They're going to start their process, what they're going to do, but they're going to call the base and get permission to push whatever, whether it's a pain med, which might be morphine, 10 mics of morphine, or they're going to get the approval from from their base hospital. Yeah. And the triage nurse the base hospital triage nurse is right there with the doctor. Okay. They know the protocols. Yeah. And if they don't, if it's something off the wall, they'll get the doctor on the phone.
My aunt was one of those.
Yeah. So, so that night, that phone has just like the MDT in a patrol car has that very distinctive tone. Yeah. So everybody could hear it in the ER. In case she wasn't standing there, they know that it's going off. They need to answer it. Yeah. So it goes off. I'm working the high side. It's not far from me. She also controls the ambulance door entrances, the big glass doors that open when an ambulance backs up. So she keeps it locked so just people can't just walk in the ER. Yeah. Because you are literally steps away to the trauma center when you come to those at that hospital.
It's supposed to be instant. Like you get in and you can work.
Yep. So it's right there. So I'm on the high side and I hear the tone. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Yeah. It was kind of a quiet night, but we had stuff going on. And you could hear it in her voice. And I didn't know what she was dealing with. I couldn't hear all of it, but I could hear the inflection in her voice. So I'm thinking right away, this is going to be a baby. And So we had 2 guys on my side, on the high side, and 2 guys. So we were EMT trauma certified. We were low grade paramedics. We started lines.
Yeah.
We pushed certain meds, certain things. We did a lot of technical things. When you crack a chest, if you have to get into a chest cavity to fix a lung, we did that. The doctor was there.
Yeah.
They did the incision, all that, but we put the equipment in and opened up the cavity.
Yeah.
We did all that stuff. So I'm thinking it's a kid because I can hear the inflection. And these people are seasoned like your aunt was. They don't change.
Something's different.
Something's different. So I tell my partner, he was busy in a room and say, we got a trauma coming in, or we might have a trauma coming in. And sure enough, she not only does she handle the paramedics, LA County Fire, not only does she handle that call with whatever medicine they need, whatever's going on, all I know it's a gunshot victim. And she handles all that, but she also assigns, bring them here. So now they're rolling to us.
Yeah.
Okay. So she flips the switch, and hospitals have like a CAD system, kind of like the sheriff's department. We get into shooting. We shoot some male Hispanic in the leg. He gets away from the scene. They put it out to all hospitals, all points bulletin. Hey, Hispanic male, 25 years old, shot in the thigh. No, whatever. If you get that, call us. We'll see if it's him. Mm-hmm. That same system, they can turn off. They can close Long Beach Memorial to trauma. Okay. So she closes Long Beach Memorial to trauma. But your average person that isn't coming via ambulance,
it's going to still go.
They're still going to show up, right? Well, now we know they're like 7 minutes out for this gunshot victim. Male, 30, 35 years old, chest wound, gunshot wound. In the interim, so we're waiting. And when they put it out the whole hospital. Yeah. They're bringing the surgery team with all the attendings, all the people that are in school learning, because it's a teaching hospital too.
Yeah.
Everybody comes. You got EKG, X-rays, it's full.
It's a team.
Yep. It's like there's like 16, 17 people in there. And there's a person just scribing, a nurse just scribing, writing everything down. Yeah. Everything that's used, all the charged little things, they're all put on the paper. Yeah. Time something was given, so they know. Right? You don't want to give too much morphine. You don't want to suppress the body and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, we're ready. We're waiting. We got our gloves on. We're waiting to get. Everybody's going through. We'll see. Depending if where he's at, we already know his blood pressure. All that stuff. We know that.
You know it's coming in.
In the interim, though, and I can say this now because I'm a gang expert in 4 counties. A gang member came in from the Rolling 20s, but his homeboys brought him in. They're hanging out, drinking down in Long Beach. Drive by, gets shot in the head. Now, had that been a police car or ambulance, they wouldn't have brought him because when brain matter is showing, you can call it. Yeah. And that's how this was. So, but and once you bring them, they're not going to not try to help him. Yeah. It does, we're closed. You got to go to another hospital. Yeah. We're closed to trauma. He went into the next bed. The ER doc, we already were ready for our guy, and he called the low side guys. Hey, come get this, come help. Let's get another team in here. So they call another trauma. So now we're working 2. The other one's not here yet, but one's already in the trauma room. So our guy gets there, and before he gets there, the triage nurse is now in the trauma center. Okay. Bed 1. There's bed 1, bed 2. We're on bed 1. He's not here yet. She tells the doctor, the ER doc, and there's physicians in there too. There's surgeons, and there's also a cardiac team there. Yeah. And she tells him, the doctor, very quietly, we didn't hear. And then he says, hey, listen up, everybody on this side, on bed 1. The person that's coming in is an LA County sheriff.
Yep.
Now, remember, I'm not a deputy yet.
Yeah.
And so
it doesn't matter, man.
There's things that happen in life that point you, that you look back on and you're like, man, I didn't have to do this. Yeah. I should have probably, after seeing this and what I'm going to tell you we did, you would have been like, maybe I don't want to do that. Yeah. Anyway, didn't know who he was other than that. So he gets there, and I'm expecting it's a deputy sheriff uniform, right? So he comes in, they're running in, they bring him in. Everything's cut off of him. When I was out in the field, we just right up the pants through the shirt and jacket, and it's just laid on the gurney. It's on the gurney with him, just to see where else he's hit. If it's a stab wound, shot, whatever the injuries are. And they get him in there, and we're working. He's got no pulse, no blood pressure. Immediately start CPR again. We take over CPR for the guys that have been doing it all the way to the hospital. So now I'm doing CPR. My partner's bagging. They got him intubated. We're giving him oxygen, and they're doing everything they can. The doctor says, the ER doc and the surgeon that's there, crack his chest. So they set that all up. I think it was Noah was my partner that day. Somebody else comes over, a nurse comes over to keep bagging him, and he sets up there's a tool that once they do that, it opens everything up. Yeah. Surgeon takes his heart out and he hands it to me because I can't do compressions now.
Yeah.
So I'm lavaging his heart. They basically, you put your your hands like that, holding the heart, and I'm lavaging his heart with my thumbs, trying to force the blood through the heart. Yeah, into the, because they're giving him oxygen. So we're hoping that oxygen is going with the blood into his body.
Yeah.
And we're working, brother. It's like, I don't know, we're working. We must have worked on him 35, 40 minutes. And there's 2 surgeons in there. There's 2 cardiac surgeons in there on top of everybody work. I mean, it's like, by this time, they've called the other guy. Yeah. He's dead. Mm-hmm. And everybody that was helping there stepped over, and they were just standing by waiting. Hey, if somebody gets tired, whatever you're doing, we'll step in, that kind of thing. Yeah. So we're working. And the whole point of us getting ready and me lavaging his heart is because there's 2 surgeons in there, a surgeon and an attending, and they're just standing like this. They've been scrubbed in. Like, we didn't take him to surgery. There was no time for that. Yeah. We did it right there. And they're standing like this, and there's like one other nurse standing next to him with the gold. There's a needle, but it's got gold thread on it because that's the only thing you can use on the heart. Oh, sure. And he has 2 holes in his heart. We thought he had 1, but he had 2. And later what we found is the person that shot him he basically had to, he was shooting like this, not even looking at him, shooting like that. Yeah. And it just went just over his vest and hit him in the substernal notch, but was on a trajectory down and went through the top chamber of the heart. And so as soon as everything's ready for them, they step in, everybody steps back, and they're fast, dude. I've never seen, they just, and they were done like that. And then they said, everybody back up. And you've seen them paddle somebody, and these are different because they're specifically for the heart. They're little circles. They may not look like this now, but we're talking 30 years ago. Yeah. And they look like they're about this big, and they have long wands on them. They just literally, and they hit the heart. And you could hear a pin drop when they did that.
He's hoping.
Yeah. And
hoping and praying.
Even though he had been down for so long, he had lost almost all his blood. They were pushing. We must have had 11 bags up, and they were starting to try to give him blood too. But your heart just needs something to pump. When they sutured him up and they told everybody back up, don't touch the bed, don't nothing. We're going to shock him. They shocked him, nothing. And they shocked him again, and he got a heart rate.
Oh shoot!
Yeah. And we were like, oh, wow. As we jump back in again, the doctor's like, give her said, get back, just going, trying to ignite the heart. Mm-hmm. And it was short-lived. It was maybe 30 seconds, and then he crashed again. Eventually, we did lose him. And it wasn't until later, obviously, you never know a person's name, not even the triage nurse. When the paramedics call, it's just a male, Hispanic, whatever. You don't know his name. They have his name, but it's not important at that time. So in the interim, unbeknownst to us, because we're working our butts off, you and I both know what happens with the department when something like that happens.
Yeah.
Everybody that can shows up.
Yep.
On duty, off duty. So the entire... they started coming in, and they had to kick them out because it was just the whole place was full of sheriffs. Mm-hmm. Well, remember what I told you came in just prior to him, rolling 20s.
Yep.
And they were still right outside where the ambulance bay was. So that didn't go well at all. They had to call, supervisors were coming anyways, but obviously that was a train wreck.
Yeah, well, you know how it goes, and we're not going to mention that gang, so I don't want to give anything to it.
Yeah, no, I got you.
So, I know they're going to clear out one way or another.
Oh, they cleared them out. They did. They took a lot of people with them too.
But, like when Nelson, same place, same thing. When deputies go down, it turns into just a nonstop flow of just everybody. What gets me sometimes is people that shouldn't show up. Mm-hmm. And it bothers me. Like with Jerry.
Yeah.
And, we went to his funeral. I was there. You were there. There was certain people that weren't supposed to be there that were there. And I just wish that they would honor that. They know how they feel about them. They shouldn't show up. Mm-hmm. And Steven was, one of those guys that probably would have had that kind of stuff.
Well, that's where I was going to end it was, so now we find out it's Steve Blair, mm-hmm. who was working the gang unit. Yep. Little did I know, 4 months and 15 days later, I'd be starting the academy.
Yep.
And little did I know then that I would actually end up in the gang unit.
Yep.
And when it was all over, we have a thing they call the family room in the ER, and his wife and I think a couple kids. I don't think his kids were there, but his wife and is either his mother, her mother, but some extended family. I believe they flew them there, and they came down and so they put him in the family room, and she wanted to see him. Yeah. And the doctor was telling her, look, now it's a crime scene. We can't take the tubes out. We can't, mm-hmm. We've done stuff that you don't want to see. And just, you're going to have to remember what he was. Mm-hmm. And she goes, I just want something.
Yeah.
And I remember I looked at the doctor and I said, I'll be right back. And I remembered that somebody, they took his shoes off. Like I said, they cut his pants off. But remember, he was wearing Levi's and a green jacket. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what that meant. At that time, I wasn't a deputy. But that is what we wore.
Yeah.
So I remembered that there was a green wool blanket that we all carried in our patrol cars that somebody from the sheriff's department had put around his feet because his feet were exposed. Mm. In case he got, I think the paramedics probably did that in the ambulance. They set it on his feet and they wrapped it at the bottom mm-hmm. from the knees down, basically just to keep him warm. And I knew that didn't have any, it wasn't soiled. It had nothing on it.
Yeah.
So I went and got it, folded it up, and took it into the
family room.
Yeah, the family room, and I handed it to his wife, girlfriend. Gosh, I can't even remember now. Anyway, and I said, "Ma'am, this is really the only thing that I could give you that wasn't on his person, and it's not soiled." And man,
it's just
the noise you hear when you make that, when you tell somebody their son's dead or something like we've had to do, or in a hospital like that. And she treated the blanket as if it was him. That's difficult, bro.
And I had that conversation with Dan. Is that sound, that scream?
Yeah,
and you never lose it. You never forget it. It's a scream, a mother's scream, a wife's scream. It's excruciating. It's the only way I can describe it is there's no other scream like it. Like you could hurt yourself, you could be screaming for whatever, but the scream of losing someone is like a pain that it just gives a different tone.
Yeah, it's guttural.
It's just the worst.
I remember
the worst.
After that, I mean, it's like we lost both of them. I mean, the other guy was human too, but we lost both of them. And not that anybody's any more important than, no life is any more important than another. But the way he gave his life trying to protect people and, or lost his life trying to protect people.
He's the reason I signed up for G.E.T.
Well, interesting about that, I was just going to go there. We came back into the trauma center, and of course now you know what happens. Homicides rolling, they all end up there. And we all stood there, everybody that had worked on him, and the doctor basically debriefed us, and they shut the doors. The surgeons were in there, and the surgeons and the doctors, the heart surgeon, everybody, though they talked, and they were like, you guys, if you could have saved his life, you would have, because you guys did an amazing job.
Yeah.
But they explained why we didn't. And then everybody in that room, it affected everybody.
Of course.
I mean, I was amazed. These people have seen unfathomable things over their careers, and this just hit them. And that right there, when somebody asked me later, people were coming up to me after that. Everybody heard about it. The whole ER people come to me. Even Carol Knockreiner. You sure you still want to do that? And I said, more now than ever. But fast forward to when You went to G.E.T and then OSS, and I went to G.E.T, and you pushed for me. I'll never forget the first time I went to a meeting at OSS headquarters in Rancho Dominguez there, and we went into that building, and in the stairwell was the only person killed in the line of duty at that time.
Yeah.
Was Steve Blair.
It's still there.
Still there with Jerry.
Yeah. Both of them. I mean, you shouldn't have any. But you know how it goes. It's part of the job.
Yeah.
But, it's not, his sacrifice wasn't in vain.
No.
A lot of guys picked up where he left off. But he was killed close to where I grew up.
Yeah, not far from where you grew up.
And then when I was trying to pick my path, G.E.T all the way, it wasn't even a thing. It was, I'm going to G.E.T because I want to go to OSS.
Yeah, that happened to me too when I went to custody. I was in OSJ like pretty quick. I knew I all the way through.
It was just when I got on, the first deputy to die when I was or get killed on line of duty was Nelson
Yamamoto. Same station.
I got on, and all of a sudden we're going to funeral. That was the first welcome to the sheriff's department. This is what happens.
How long have you been on?
Less than a year. And then he's killed where I grew up in Walnut Park. Mm-hmm. And then I have friends that were part of that, were there, like you, at the hospital. And this is a shitty story, but they had family members and friends in the waiting room. And then when they announced Nelson was killed, they cheered.
Wow. That's not easy to take.
Nope. You have one side of the hospital just destroyed, and you have one side.
That was Martin. That was Killer King, right?
Yes,
Pardon me.
He passed at Killer King. Yeah. I don't know if he was taken there as a trauma. I thought he went to St. Francis.
That was MLK. Sure. We didn't make that name up. That was from the people that lived there. They dubbed it that name.
They dubbed it that because you went to that hospital. You more likely you were going to die because their trauma and their aftercare wasn't good.
Yeah,
that's the truth. I mean, I grew up in that neighborhood too. Nobody wanted to go there. That's a fact. They called it Killer King not because of Martin Luther King, but because that hospital had a reputation for not saving people.
Yeah, they've been. I don't know now, but there was a point in time there when we were out in the field. They actually got a lot better. I think they were
supposed
bought
to be
by
great
a different.
now.
Yeah, they got bought by a different company.
But at the time, no,
not then,
we knew don't go there, and that was like I said, I grew up there.
I know people that had that in there. Don't you dare take me there.
No, and deputies had a specific rules or when you got in the car, don't take me there, don't do this.
Yeah.
Well, with Steven, it's like, don't leave me in the street. You're going to scoop me. I don't care. We've talked about this before. You're going to drag my dead body to the hospital because you're not leaving me in the street.
Don't leave it there.
Even my family had rules. They knew my brother, my older brother. You know the job. So you have to advise your family members that you trust what might happen and how to handle it because you got to make plans. And he knew. I'm not going to say bad things, but he knew that. Well, my wife knew too. If someone comes to the door, I'm dead. If you get a phone call, I'm alive. That's the way it's done, and to get ready for that. And then I always had when I was on patrol, it's my brother. When my brother, I said, they're going to call you. This is what you're going to do. And I told them they're going to want to do certain things. I'm going to say it straight out. I told him, I don't want any deputies at my house. I just don't. I want my wife and my kids around that, deputies. I don't want that where a bunch of deputies come and hang out in your house. Mm-hmm. And I said, if you let deputies start hanging out in my house, I'm going to haunt your ass. And you know my brother. But it's sad, but you know the reason why.
Yeah, I know. I know the reason why. We don't need to say it. We know the reason why.
And my friends and my boys, yeah, all day. But random guys that want to mow your lawn and fix your house and paint your house, those guys aren't allowed in my house.
Yeah.
And because there's that too.
Yeah.
But the rule was, you have to be ready for stuff. And I told my brother who to call and what to do. You're never prepared for it, but you want to try to lessen the blow if something like that. You have to, it's part of life. You have to think about it. You don't want it to be a surprise for your family or, what do I do now that, Adam's shot or hurt? I don't want them to struggle. I want them to know exactly what's going to happen because you have Sheriff Relief, who's great, fantastic about helping the spouses get through it, and they set up stuff. But I remember when I was at Jerry's, you have specific memories that are terrible, but they're also what made you who you are. It made you follow the path to law enforcement. You could have easily, like you said, that's not for me. I'm not going there. But you actually answered the call and went towards the fire instead of going away.
I went directly to the fire that he left from, which was the gang unit.
But these are the things that are defining moments. They're defining things that happen to you. They're defining experiences. When after Jerry was killed, you know how everybody went back to Lakewood and just kind of collapsed. Mm-hmm. We were out there all day and night trying to find the guy, and then we're trying to do other stuff. I was sitting on Bobby Windrum's desk.
Yeah.
Because he was a sergeant. Barely knew Bobby. Just, hey, what's up, Bobby?
Good man.
And Brenda was the secretary. So she was sitting next to the next desk over. I didn't work that station, but I just plopped there. I was exhausted. And somebody walked in with a clear plastic bag, and they put it on the desk. And it was Jerry's boots and his belt. You know how they take all your stuff. Mm-hmm. And they put it like right in front of me. So I'm looking at this bag. It just destroyed me. Because, Jerry was a friend. And then Bobby came in and they go, hey, Bobby, this is, and he goes, God damn it. Like he was, why'd you put it there? Everybody in Brenda saw it, it was terrible. And she walked away with it. And I just remember his boots. It was like, that's one of my memories is that, I knew him as a laughing, joking, fun guy. And now this is all I get to know him by.
I didn't know him like you did. I mean, I had to fight Jerry in the academy. Jerry was a Golden Glove boxer.
He was a great fighter.
It's a good thing I had a rock like a concrete. Otherwise,
I wouldn't want to fight him. I'm glad it was his friend.
It's a good thing I had a head like a concrete, or he would have knocked me out. But the Jerry thing, I was working with Eric Arias, sergeant at homicide now, and we were working Carson. Yeah, and this goes back to where I came from. We all rolled in. You rolled there. We're told not to. I got to Carson, and that was my first G.E.T station. And Eric Arias was my partner. And he texted me. He said, hey, bro, you there? And I'm like, I just got here. I'm ready. He goes, don't leave without me. And I said, no problem. He gets there 5 minutes later. He's changing out, and he's going to Long Beach. I said, no, he's not. And he goes, no, he is. I said, no, he's not. He's above us right now. He goes, no, he's going to Long Beach. I said, dude, I used to work there. They're closed to trauma. He's going to HGH. Mm-hmm. So everybody went to Long Beach because that's what they told him. So I said, trust me, we're going to HGH. And we went to HGH and he landed. We were the only sheriff's personnel there when he was in the ER, and they called it, they put him in a holding room because they've been through this before. They know what happens. And everybody in the world came. I think the first person there besides us was Tim Brennan, his old partner. He was off duty, but he was the first person there.
Do you remember the photographer? I wish I could remember his name.
The black gentleman?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember
his name. Our photographer.
Johnson? I think his name was Johnson. I can't remember.
I used to know him really well. Like I would see him at all the scenes and stuff, and he was always really cool. And one day he starts talking to me when we're at a scene, tapes up, and he says, I had a really hard time with something. I said, what's going on? And he said, we had to photograph Steven's stuff.
Steve Blair?
Yeah. Because I guess for evidence, it was his uniform. And then he said he had to lay it out and take pictures of it and all that stuff. And it really bothered him. And that man had been around a long time.
Well, I can say, having been in the room, we roughly have, 5-6 pints of blood?
Yeah.
And there was probably 5 pints on the gurney. They leave them on the board. Yeah. They just transfer the board over. Yeah. So his stuff was, that's why I said the only thing I could find without anything on it was that green wool blanket that the sheriff.
Jerry was an ambulance.
Yeah, but with Jerry.
That's when Mark Brooks was giving compressions.
Yeah, because remember how that happened?
No.
They didn't know where the guy was, so they put him on the hood of the car and drove him out of the area.
Yeah, and then Mark was giving him compressions on the gurney. Yeah, and he was was he partners with him?
Mark, no. So that particular day, and I only know this because I was working Carson G.E.T.
You were on the task force.
I was that night. So I'll tell you.
Who was his partner?
Minutes. I'll tell you right now. So I was working Carson G.E.T. with Eric Arias as my partner, and Mark Perez was there. Ed Garnica was there. It was us 4 with Jim Tatro at Carson.
Okay.
So when that happened, when Jerry got shot, we went directly to the hospital. Everything changed at OSS from after that day. We stayed at the hospital until, I don't know, 6 o'clock, was it? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. This was what, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody converged on Hawaiian Gardens in Lakewood Stations area. The whole gang unit. And they were still looking for him. I mean, I remember, I'll never forget Bobby Windrum. Everybody took off when they said there was a 998, deputy involved. Everybody takes off from the station. There wasn't a car in the parking lot, they said. I wasn't there. Remember, I was going to Carson. But Brant House was there. And Brant, this is Brant's luck. I can't remember. I want to say Brant was in the restroom. And it was something like that. It was something funny, right? You leave it to Brant. And he comes back to the office and says, where'd everybody go? Everybody's gone. He goes out to the parking lot. Cars are gone.
I was Brant and I work industry get together.
Yeah, so he starts calling his team.
I heard the story, but I would love to talk to Brant.
Oh, he's in Arizona, but he's like, he called, nobody was answering. He called Bobby Windrum.
Yeah.
Finally, Bobby calls him back, and Brant's pissed. He doesn't have a car. He doesn't know exactly where they went. He went to the bridge. He knows where, where the 911 is. Anyway, he knows where it's at, but he can't get there. He goes, come back and get me. And Windrum said, Brant, calm down. I got to tell you something. And this is Bobby saying this to us.
I know what he did.
Bobby was going to come to my house. Years later, he was going to come to my house when that dude broke in. Bring the whole team. But Bobby said, Brant, sit down. Where are you at? I'm at the office. Come get me. Sit down. So he goes, sit at your desk. I need to tell you something. And he goes, what? Come get me. He goes, it's Jerry. What do you mean it's Jerry? It's Jerry. He's shot. I need you. This is going to be the hardest thing you ever do. Start writing.
And it was. I guarantee it.
He said, start writing what? Start writing a warrant. Yeah. I'll give you an address later, but start writing a warrant.
Yep.
And he goes, well, I need the story. And he goes, I'm going to send you somebody right now that knows what happened. Start writing.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, him and Gary, guys, all these guys that were part of the task force.
No, I know Brant.
Instrumental.
I know him personally. We sat in the car hours together, and I know that must have been hard, but he did the right thing because that's the kind of man he is.
He was hell of a...
That's the kind of man he was. He would have been upset, but he would have knew the big picture.
Yeah, he did. Eventually, I mean, he was mad at first, but he got it. And
he played the most important role because to get in that house and do the rest of the investigation was needed. And
it took 4 years and hundreds of warrants later. And
yep. But there's a lot to that, too.
There's a lot of that. But that night...
We'll leave that alone.
That night, I already had a plane ticket to go see Sam. And Larry Knott was at Lakewood or brought to Lakewood after.
Yeah.
But Jerry was working under Brannigan. You don't say it.
I'm not saying anything.
So he wouldn't.
I'm gonna say it again, like I tell everybody who comes in here. You hear me being quiet?
Exactly. Well, so we came over. Everybody came over, but Carson G.E.T never went back. No. We became part of the federal task force.
You guys stood and you became.
We stayed, and they brought more to us. We needed more people, but there was only a couple people at Lakewood at the time, and Jerry did not have a partner. He didn't have a partner, and Brannigan said, "Hold on a minute, I got a couple things to do, and I'll get in the car with you." And Jerry said, "No, thanks."
Well, I have Sal coming in.
Sal Munoz? Wow.
And Sal,
that's a word, that name I haven't heard in a while.
That's triple OG right there. He's coming in. Talked to him yesterday. And Sal has a very, very interesting story about all that stuff, dude. Because Sal and I were close. And he told me about Jerry and what happened after, before. Because there's a whole story goes all the way up to everything that you're saying right now that I'm not going to say. Certain people and Sal knew it all. And you know Sal, he don't give a shit. He'll throw it all on the table. Like this is who did what.
He told Tanaka off.
He
remember that? He did. I was like, oh no, we're all going to jail now.
I had a lot of partners like that. When I had a partner who told off the sheriff.
I know who that is.
Yeah, but he's coming in too, by the way, and I'm going to save his story for that because I'm gonna put him on Front Street. I'm going to say, remember when you ended my career?
He'll tell it.
He'll tell it. That's the kind of guys I like to get in here. You guys are all, there's a certain pattern of guys coming in here that they've been in the shit, but they're not afraid to talk about it. And when it comes to like Blair and Yamamoto and even Jerry. I wish we could say that we do it great, the investigation, the follow-up. I wish I could brag about how everything works out. But there's a lot of problems when it comes to deputy-involved stuff. It's disappointing sometimes. But I like that I was part of some of it, and we got to fix what we did.
Well,
the stuff we did was on point.
Yeah.
When it came to the brass and making decisions.
Yeah.
Because
it just
if you lose a partner, you lose one of your brothers. There's automatically, hey, what the hell happened, and how do we figure out this isn't going to happen again? Especially when it comes to the gang unit, because we worked the gang unit for so long. It's not just a guy robbing a store runs out and kills someone that's responding to a robbery. Mm-hmm. This is a gang, and they're emboldened by their actions. And when they take out a deputy, that's a badge of honor. It's a badge of honor in prison. It's a badge of honor in the county. It's a badge of honor their whole lives. They're considered heroes, especially taking out a gang unit guy, especially G.E.T or OSS. That's why we don't lose any guys, because we're very particular in how we handle them so we don't get hurt. But what I'm trying to say is that when they think they're emboldened, you have to take action. You have to go and address that gang, because they're going to start shooting at more deputies, and they're going to start getting more brazen, and they're going to start hurting more people. When Hawaiian Gardens thought they were going to take advantage of it, that ended quick.
Well, what you said was in every department. And you remember, this was a task force. It was a federal task force. Mm-hmm. And I'll say it straight out. I'll tell any of them to their face, because I've watched it. They aren't street cops. The FBI is not street cops.
No, they know it too. They know it.
They are not. They don't have. They're great at doing certain things, but when it comes to the street, they don't work in the street.
But they give us the keys to all the doors.
They do,
and that's the reason why they were joined forces. And mm-hmm. and we appreciate that. That's good. Because we want to use RICO. We want to mm-hmm. we want to use different tools, but we can't use those federal tools, without attaching to them. But they don't come in saying, I'm going to take over and do your job. They come in kind of like, how does this work here? Because it's not their job to be mm-hmm. in South Central LA walking the streets and jamming gangbangers all night long. They need the intelligence when they get to our unit, and we're mm-hmm. supposed to help them, and they help us. And it works out great, because we've done RICO. You and I have done a bunch of those. Yeah. And it's fantastic taking freaking 500 people to jail one day.
Yeah, but sometimes you're dealing with personality, not only on our department.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, we can't talk with.
But there's personalities on our department where you go, man, I wouldn't want to work with guys I know.
We work horribly. I used to always say it, and I'm not the only one that said it. If we communicated, we'd be dangerous. And I'm not talking about. I'm not just talking about like LAPD to LA County Sheriffs. I'm talking about the department itself.
Yeah.
And I get there's things that people don't want to say for loose lip sync ships, all that kind of. I get that, mm-hmm. but it's even worse when you bring the feds in.
Yeah.
What I will say about all of that, there's the political part of it. Unfortunately, it's part of it. But at the end of the day, like I said, I think on the first episode, the gang unit in 1 year with mm-hmm. 85, 90 guys wrote more search warrants and served more search warrants than the entire 40,000 strong NYPD.
Yeah.
In 1 year. So when we finished Jerry, that was 181 multi-location search warrants in 4 states. Biggest RICO Act takedown in U.S. history, until I think there's a couple that have beat it.
That isn't even including just the probation parole searches, all the sweeps, all the warrants, just a standard warrant, not the RICO. Man, we were living there. And it's a small area.
And what did you bring up? I don't remember which episode it was, but the thing, yeah, you're right. The FBI, they need to get intelligence and all that stuff. Yes, there was a lot of arrests that led to the overall, when you wrap it all up with RICO and you take it to federal court and all that kind of stuff, it's huge. But what's really huge is those little bitty yellow field interview cards, because that's what built that 181 location search warrant.
Yep.
We used, Lord,
you heard me say it in here. It's like,
I think they used, our
gold.
Team.
They should be made of gold.
Right. So our team, when I came to Carson, I left Carson, went to Lakewood, and was part of the task force. When he was arrested that night, by the way, to finish that up, I was told by Larry, somebody told him in his ear. I don't know who told him. Could have been you. I don't know. But Larry came to me and said, I heard you have to get to the airport. There's a car waiting over there. You need to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm not going. I'll go. Go.
Yep.
So, but they had already arrested him. They were just serving more warrants.
You know, we had already done what we could do.
Yeah, at that time.
And like I said, when I hit his desk, I wouldn't have sat at Bobby's desk if I wasn't done. If there was more to do.
No, yeah.
We were done. We knew who we got him, the whole bit. I'm just gonna say it out loud. The way they got him was bullshit. But
they got him.
I just laid there that there's nothing else for me to do.
What time do you think you sat down at Bobby's desk?
Oh my God, I know it was old dark 30, bro.
Yeah, because I left at 9. I was taken at 9. I was forced to leave. It was
0 hour. Yeah. It was way.
So when I came back, I was gone 5-6 days usually when I went to see Samantha, and when I came back, we had all been reassigned to Lakewood. I mean, my phone was blowing up and everything, and we were part of the task force. That task force, man, great group of guys. It was just us. The feds were there too, and they did every once in a while go with us.
No, you had a great team, man. Good dudes, hard workers.
Yeah, there's some great people on the team.
Except for Dan Morris, but there was a good team.
But I
love you, Dan.
Interestingly enough, I was there at G.E.T. I started the task force with G.E.T. And then when that was over, when they got everything done and they were starting to go to trial on the main trial for just him, the shooter, we all got sent to Lennox G.E.T. And while I was at Lennox G.E.T., I got promoted to OSS, and I was sent back to Lakewood. They wanted me to go back to Lakewood to finish the takedown. So our team, Gary and Brandt were they were on the federal task force. They were sworn in as federal. You know how that works.
Yeah, Brandt did a great job.
He did a great job, and Mark Brooks did a great job. Eddie V did a great job. Joe V did a great job. Anyway. We went back, but we did the entire, ops plan for any particular search warrant. Maybe 5 locations, 1 location, whatever it is, 181 locations. Steve Solis and I, mainly Solis, he said, I'll scribe. Well, little did he know it was going to be 181 locations. So we set that whole thing up.
Man, I tried to say it in here how OSS teams, you have their teams, and you think I'm going to write a warrant. You need so many teams to be OSS because you're doing the association warrants and you did the Regal and you're hitting them at the same time if you can. You try to do as many as you can.
Simultaneous, yeah.
Sometimes you can break them up. Most of the time you don't because you don't want them to clean up their shit when they find out their boys got hit. So the purpose of the association, is to hit them all at 3 a.m. They can't call each other, say they're coming, but you need 20, 40, 100 teams.
Well, the interesting
every team is 6 to 8 guys.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing when we started roundtabling, how we were starting to set it all up, and at that time, I'm going to say his name. I know you. I'm not going to say his name. The particular lieutenant we had at the time, he's like, we were going to him and telling him, hey, you can't do a secondary location in Hawaiian Gardens. They're always got people out looking for you. So he goes, all right. So the next thing you know, next Tuesday, you guys all come in early. We're going to meet the commander of Los Alamitos JSOC base, the military base in Los Alamitos, which is roughly like 6 miles down the freeway. Yeah. We did the drops with the helicopters and all that stuff. But anyway, so we met with him, and he's sitting there with his scribe, who's a master. I think he was a master sergeant, and the commander. And he's like, all right, we're all sitting around this big table in a room. And he's like, all right, what do you need? And the lieutenant starts telling him this is related to, and he shows him a picture, has this big old thing going. It's related to this deputy, and this is what we need. And we need a place where we're secure, because they do look, they counter surveil to see where other teams are, and they get the word out. And he goes, so what do you need? And he goes, is there any place, any corner of your base that we could be allowed to come on and use? And he goes, he looked at his aide, and he said, what date are you looking at? And they had a pretty good date in mind. And he goes, sir, we have some guys coming in for jump training, which they had jump training, but they have, you know how when you do a helicopter training, they come in and they have to hit the ground and pop back up. They had that coming in, and they couldn't stop it. So they said,
that's Black Hawk Down training.
Yeah. So he told him, he said, he goes, well, the other half of the base you can have. So they let They gave the whole half of the base and the airfield. There was a portion of the airfield because we did
They've been good to us for a long time.
And that's where we did the entire takedown was from Los Alamitos Air Base.
The other one you and I did was at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah,
Remember, they took up the whole parking lot. And then we're not going to mention that gang either. 'Cause I don't like to give,
I think I just did. I apologize.
No, you didn't. I don't like to give gang names, and I don't use monikers because I don't never. I've been with OSS guys we're interviewing. They're calling them by their hey sleepy and droopy or whatever. Hey Jose, come over here. I don't believe in that. And I've gotten arguments with a few people, but it gives them credence, and I don't believe in it. You don't. That's if I can mess with you, I'm going to mess with you. Hey, Pancho, come here.
Well, you remember what I did with that one particular gang that you had in Barrio Norwalk? The guy went and got his nipple pierced and it abscessed, and I renamed him. We won't say it here, but boy, he didn't live that down when he went to trial.
You have to have some fun, man, and you got to have some fun. I love messing with them. It's fun. It made the job fun. I don't care.
It's part of the cat and mouse.
Yeah, well, they knew it. I'm sure they had nicknames for us. I don't care. It's all good.
Oh, I had plenty of nicknames.
No. But it's sad that we had to talk about these guys, but they're good men and they deserve to be remembered, all of them. And I think it's more important to look at the fact that we actually went into gangs after these guys were, killed. But I know Jerry wanted to go to OSS. He wanted to be OSS to the end, and
he was on the list.
They should have.
I know.
Again, what I was talking about earlier.
Sal may say, well, let him say it. It's his story to tell.
But they should have. First of all, he should have went to OSS way before. But even when he passed, they should have put his name at OSS.
When I tested, and you were very integral in that. When I tested from Norwalk to go to, when they found out that I was on the G.E.T list, when I made G.E.T Norwalk, they kicked me off the net team. Because I guess I was supposed to stay my entire career at Norwalk. Yeah, but yet how many people did I come back for and testify as a gang expert? Once you left, they didn't have anybody to testify for.
Nobody. They're still having trouble finding guys to testify as experts now. But that's your job. I had I'm going to say it. Alex GM chased me in the parking lot. You can't go to G.E.T. You haven't given back to the station.
Oh yeah.
He's screaming at me in the parking lot. You need to stay here. You're supposed to do more time here, and you have to get back to patrol. And the only person I checked with to go to G.E.T, not checked with, but told was my TOs.
Yeah.
And they both said, go.
That's what I did with Joe. Joe said, he goes, you do realize that they just came to me and they said that the next go around you're going to get the tat.
Yeah.
And he said, but don't stay for that.
No, you got to go when you can because those doors close quick.
Yeah.
They close so fast and you take advantage of those opportunities. I mean, I was on the list to TO and G.E.T. And I went to both my daddies and they said, okay, this is what I got. And Mark Steven then Ed, get out of here. Well,
I was going to say, when I made the G.E.T list, and like I said, you were integral and part of that, Dwayne Harris too, your team and Dwayne Harris. But when I made the list, Mike Arruda was on that list. I responded to that night. He got killed, and he was on the list too. He wasn't at G.E.T, he was at industry, but that was another horrible night.
Sal has another story about that too.
I know. I know.
Mike, good man. Great, yes. Good man. His locker was right next to mine in industry. Mm-hmm. So, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But Sal knows that story.
That was sad too.
Yeah, great man. We lost him too early.
But the point of that is that Mike Arruda was on the list when I was on G.E.T, and I was promoted. They put, I think, they did what they should have done when that list of 5 was going. Mike Arruda was number 1.
Yeah.
And then when the OSS list came out, Jerry was placed on it.
Mike was one of those guys, again, would have been a star in the department. Hard worker, great guy.
Yeah, Mike was a good cop.
Just a good dude, good cop. Great cop, actually. Jerry, great cop. Well, that's why, I remember when they started saying no king cars. It makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, it makes it.
No one-man cars.
We weren't.
And in the gang unit, we'd run 3 deep if somebody was off.
Yeah, that's what we did.
And they said no one's rolling king cars, no one's solo car. It's 2-man cars. And then if someone's off, you jump 3 deep. And then, the sheriff's department's king cars, 1-man cars. LAPD does 2-man cars because they want more safety in the cars. Sheriff's department wants more cars. They want more presence, having more cars in the street. But we don't respond to anything alone. We always team up, sister cars. So if I get a call, I'm going to get a partner that says, I'm going to get on my computer. He's rolling too. And you roll together. Very rarely we do something alone. It might be something that you can handle and hey, I'll call you if I need you. But most of the time you use your sister car.
Yeah.
But that's the way it's done. You go to a gang unit, you got to lose that mentality because you're never supposed to be in the car alone.
It's not like you're given tickets for jaywalking.
No.
You never, I can't tell you the countless times. I remember one night working the net team with Robbie Renteria, my old partner, Rob Renteria, who ended up becoming a helicopter pilot at our bureau. And now he's retired, and I think he's doing that on the side. But anyway, I remember one night it's like 2:00 in the morning, or like one. We were off at 2 in the summers, and because it's just busy, and especially on the weekends. And it's like a Saturday night, but it was a dead night, nothing going on. And Robbie, man, it's before we go back to the barn. Let's go through the one ways. Each street is a one way for people that don't understand.
Wrong way on the one ways.
Yeah, just we get in there and we do our thing, and you know me, dude. I knew all those guys by name. I could see them like that and remember who they were. And anyway, he's like, we got to go. Let's go through one more time, pick a pass through, and make sure everything's cool and quiet, and we'll go back to the barn. And lo and behold, the little shit magnet. From nothing going on, nobody on our team that night had arrested anybody, and we weren't out there. It was felonies only, and quality of life stuff. But 90% of it was gang related down in the one ways or the Vadio or Carmelas. But that night we went back to the one ways, and I believe we were on Molette. And little did I know when Robbie said, "One more time, Danny. One more time through, and then we'll make it to the barn." We're doing as he said, one more time through, man, we'll make it to the barn. All right, Rob. And he's driving like he always did. He loved to drive, even though he hit me twice. But we're rolling close, his lights off, real slow. And there's a thing that a lot of street cops will tell you, that if you're not finding nothing, sometimes if you just stop and listen, if you just slow down for a minute, it'll come to you. Well, that's what happened to us. We slowed down, he blacked out, and turned off all the lights in the car. And
sometimes you wait and it'll just come to you.
And dude,
it's awesome.
I'm going to tell this story. This is a hell of a story, dude. Little did I know I was going to be in a fight for my life. Never, that last week, how many times have we said that? Hey, let's go back to the barn. Let's swing by. I got to check. I'm writing a warrant next week.
Never say it. You just drive.
Let's go by this location.
You never say, it's going to be easy night. Oh, it's going to be slow today. You never, ever. I used to hit my partner.
A lot of it was your fault, because you would tell us when you were working at Norwalk OSS, hey, in your travels, can you go by this address? Yeah. Well, it was probably that. Let's go by one more time, Danny. It's one more ride through. So
I would give you guys marching orders all the time, and it was funny because you come up with shit every time.
What do you know? So we're rolling. Like I said, I believe it was Millette now, but I'm not going to say. I still remember the name. I know his moniker. He was pretty much running parts of. He was pretty higher up in the hierarchy.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, he and another guy. I can't remember the other guy's name right now, but they're walking down the street. It's 1:30 in the morning, and we're making our last pass. And they each have a backpack, and they were wearing all black except for the main guy had a white T-shirt on. And you can see that, right? Even though it's dark and there's hardly any street lights, but you could see the white. So my door's already open. I mean, you know me. My foot was in the door. It was already open. And I start to open the door. Rob's rolling. Doesn't have his foot on the gas, but he's rolling. We're creeping forward by the idle of the car. And he realizes my door opens because he hadn't seen him yet. And as soon as my doors start opening, the reflection of the sheriff decal on the door, they probably saw that with a little light that was out. And immediately they're like, "Whoa," and they start running down this driveway. So I'm in foot pursuit. Robbie throws it in park. He's right behind me. And the one guy was bigger dude. He wasn't that fast. Robbie got a hold of him just as he got on his running up into a house. So I'm assuming that was his house. There was like a brick, three stairs up, and it had one wrought iron railing on one side. Now, I don't see Robbie at this point, but we're both at the same house. I'm in a driveway that goes past the house to the garage. I'm not in the garage yet. I'm not in the backyard, but I'm on the side of the house with this guy. And I'm catching up to him, and he turns and he swings the backpack around, and I duck, and whap, and he's out. Not out, but he's down. And I handcuff him. And I hear Robbie. Now I hear Robbie. My dude's handcuffed, and he can't move. He's not feeling very good. But I can't see Robbie, but I can hear him. And he's like, Danny. And I run back up. I can still see my dude. And I run back, and he's this dude. Robbie was, what, 5? He's about your height. What are you, 5'8", 5'9", 5'9"? And Robbie weighed, he was probably, I don't know, he wasn't heavy, he wasn't fat, he wasn't skinny. He was probably I'm guessing 160, whatever he was. We were fit back then. But this guy was a big dude, and he still had the backpack, and he had the door open, and he was holding on to the inner door frame, and he had Robbie. He grabbed Robbie. He had Robbie's vest, the front of his vest. He had and he could not breathe. He was hitting his hand, and he was trying to pull him in the house. He was trying to pull Robbie in the house, and he's like, Danny, he's got me, Danny. And I went over and I hit his hand that it was hanging on to the post or the door frame, and it didn't budge. It didn't do anything. Yeah. So I'm like, screw it. I grabbed Robbie by the back of his vest, and I grabbed this dude. I'll never forget this dude. I grabbed him around his neck and Robbie's vest, and I put my foot on the door frame and I pulled. And Robbie was hanging onto the iron railing. And at that time, I was like 205. I was in the best shape of my life. And I was able to, I pulled him out of the house. We all went in a big pile of nothing. I mean, it's a big ball. We flew out into the grass. Yeah. And now I don't have eyes on my dude, right? Which is a no-no. But he's handcuffed. So we go flying off the front porch. And unfortunately, for all of us, not the suspect, later the suspect, but so what we didn't know is, what I didn't even see in the heat of battle is at the top of his driveway, when you get up to, not the top of the driveway went all the way to the back, but as you come up the driveway, right in front of the house, there was a concrete walkway that went up to the stairs to get into the house. And right at the stairs in the grass was a brick pilaster with a light on it. Now the light wasn't on, but it was a 1x1, so like 4 feet high with the light on it. Well, when we went flying off the porch, we hit that. I hit it head first. I mean, literally right here on the crown of my head.
So you're fine.
This was post-accident.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I hit it hard, dude. And we all landed on the ground. And I hit it so hard that you've ever been hit in the head so hard that your eyes go white. So I was like, what the heck? I'm down on all fours, and I'm like trying to get my wits about me because I know this dude is going to get up.
You got to get back in the fight.
And I'm listening for Robbie. I was waiting any second now. Robbie's going to be like 10:33, give him the patch on the radio asking for help. Nothing. No Robbie. So now I'm still shaking my head like I'm close to going out. I'm not going out now, but it was close. I was just trying to get my bearings about me when I start feeling this dude grab for my belt, my gun belt. And he was reaching for my gun, but little did he know my gun was on it's one time that I don't agree with you that I had a low rise because he was reaching for the waistband.
He thought it'd be on your waistband.
And what did we get taught? Oh, dude, it's over. Can you imagine?
Oh, you can do a lot of things at that point.
In that fall, now back then the net team, we were wearing the polos.
Yeah.
So they were horrible at holding your mic on your shirt. So when we all went flying and everything I hit the pilaster, the only thing that connected us, he could have got up and run away and maybe made it, I don't know. But what kept him there was my D-ring of my radio was still in good shape. I mean, it was still on. but my radio flew off in the fight. And believe it or not, and the sergeant you mentioned earlier, he didn't believe me. He thought I actually did this. But my radio, my mic, the wire went around the suspect's neck. And my mic landed under him. Uh-huh. So he's reaching, I thought, for my gun, but he might have been trying to reach for the radio to free
his neck.
Yeah. So I'm thinking he's reaching for my gun because he's hitting me all over the waist. And now I'm awake. Mm-hmm. And I get on top of him and I don't realize, and he's hitting me. Mm-hmm. He's hitting me, and he's a big dude. And nothing I did helped. And then I realized I'm on him. I'm in guard, dude. I'm all the way up. I got my knees on his arms so he can't hit me anymore. I purposely I got each hand, caught it, put it under my knee, and now I'm like, stop, dude, stop. And then I realized then that wire's wrapped around his neck, right? And he's
passing out.
Now he's grabbing. Now he can feel my gun.
Okay.
So I'm trying to hold his hands there so he can't grab anything. Mm-hmm. And what do I have left?
What?
My forehead.
You didn't.
I did
again.
Right.
And it didn't hurt again, did it?
No. I broke his nose, and it didn't hurt my head.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't get it.
But once you get hit like that in the nose, it's over.
Your eyes are done. You can't see.
So I'm still at this. I remember sitting on this guy trying to get him to stop fighting, and I'm Robbie. I can't see Robbie. Where the hell Robbie go?
That's scary.
And then I finally hear him say, 1033, give me the patch. You're on the patch, go. And he calls the world. Well, little did I know that when we all went down and hit the pilaster, or I thought I was the only one to hit the pilaster. I know that he didn't. I know that the suspect didn't, but I didn't know that Robbie did. Mm-hmm. But Robbie tried to stop his fall, and he dislocated 2 fingers, one on each hand. Oh, and they were both pointing other directions. So Robbie was trying to get his fingers straight so he could use the radio. So he's over there trying to play Gumby over here with his fingers, and I'm thinking, come on, Rob, get on the radio. Little did I know.
I got a little problem here.
I have a little bit of a problem. Get some help over here, dude. Well, so first person to show up is Ken. Of course, he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. And he's like, he's got the marks around his neck because I pulled the radio out. And he's, what the hell? And he didn't believe me. He didn't believe me that I didn't do that. Like I just hogtied him. And Robbie's like, Ken, look at my fingers. And he's like, oh, Rob. So all that happens. We get them hooked up. They have like a kilo of Coke.
Oh,
and the rest of the weed and a gun in the other backpack.
They're mulling.
Yeah, and so that's the bewitching hour. Mm-hmm. Everything happens at that hour roughly.
That's the best time to work.
So then it comes to me. Oh shit! Where's my dude? So I go back where I left him. He's not there. Mm. He ran down Millette, and we found him about 7 houses down. He climbed in a bathroom window and was sitting on the toilet when we found him. But we found him. Yeah, that was
that's the one ways.
That's a life of its own.
People need to know what the one ways are, because when you say the one ways, people are like, "What? Just one way streets?" It is probably the coolest place to work ever for crime fighting, because it's all these houses on top of each other. They're all very small. It used to be oil rig workers, basically. And they're one way. And the gangs run that place like a city. It's their own little nest egg. It's a little city of them. Mm-hmm. So when you go in there at night, it's on. It's just on. And I used to love to go in there, and you guys would come back and just beat up. I was sitting at my desk one time writing a warrant. I'd be there all night, and you guys would come in and ask for stuff. Hey, what do you got? What do you need? I heard on the intercom at Norwalk Station, anybody working OSS or G.E.T 1021, call the desk. So I'm like, I forget you. I'm already working. I'm
not here.
You can call me. My phone's on the line. But I thought, I'm not answering that. So I keep typing. And then, I shouldn't say other names, but 2 guys come in.
I know who you're talking about.
And they go, hey, sir, what's going on? I go, what's up, guys? I have to cut up that name, by the way. I'm going to have to cut his name out. What's going on? Do you need anything? But they're all like disheveled and nervous. Is it like basically seeing if everything's okay? Like coming in to see, are we okay? Because they're, hey, what's going on? Like they didn't even, I think they didn't think I was going to be there. Hey, what's going on, guys? Nothing, just checking. They go to their desk. They had that one desk and grab some stuff, and they left. And then the watch commander comes in. He's like, "Hey, were you 10-8?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Well, we just got calls that two guys in green jackets are running through the one-ways. And they wanted to see, they're trying to find out who it was." Mm-hmm. I said, no, man, I haven't gone 10-8. Why?
Does it look like I can run?
It's like, I'm going to run. And they said what they were doing was they were chasing somebody through the one-ways, but the guy was going laterally, north to south. Mm-hmm. So he's jumping fences, going through a house, out the front door, back door.
Been through many of those.
But running through, and one of the calls was people were having dinner.
There he goes.
and two deputies ran through their dining room. Well, first the gangster runs through.
It's like a movie, man.
And then two guys, and all they could say was they were wearing green jackets or green tops. And I said, no, I'm the only one working. I haven't seen anybody. And then the next day I go, you guys, come here. And I tell them, what's up? And they, is everything cool? I go, no, everything's fine. They don't know who it is.
Well, they never caught him, right?
No. Nobody got caught. Yeah. And the only problem was people were complaining that people were running through
their houses.
But they would run through the houses. Remember? They would run through the houses. They didn't run back door, back fence and front fence. They were running your house. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you would think they lived there. They didn't even live there. But they were told, don't say shit. So the gangsters had a carte blanche. They could run through your house and no one would tell anything. But we would chase them through the house. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple guys, even at OSS, we would chase them.
Yeah, we did that a lot. I mean, it happened a lot. That was one of the things they did to get you off their tail. Mm-hmm. To get you off. They figured that you wouldn't run through their house.
You had the two guys with the backpacks. You know Hank Ortega?
Yeah.
Well,
Hank.
Me and Hank were
we're
partners at Pico OSS, and they had overtime at Industry. So we catch some overtime. Let's go down to Industry. And the guy ramrodding the overtime, going to tell us was scale. So I know Steve, right?
Yeah.
I said, hey, Steve, what's going on? And he goes, you guys are because they had a grant, the city.
Oh, yeah.
And you do overtime in Pico, or not Pico, but La Puente or Industry. So we went up there, and I hadn't worked there before. We were driving through a place called Little Hill. Mm-hmm. And you know how you black out. Sometimes you black out, sometimes you high beam, just trying to mix it up. So we blacked out because AMAR was our backdrop, and it was basically going to light up our light, because they had it's a bright street. So when you're driving away from a bright street, you want to turn on your high beams because they can see your...
Yeah, it's a silhouette. You can see the
silhouette of your light bar. So we were blacked out. No, we were high beamed out. I'm sorry. And we came up, and we saw two gangsters walking towards us. And they were walking down the middle of the street. And I guess they didn't realize who we were because we were bright. And as soon as they figured out who we were, they split. So now one's on north side of the street, one's on south side of the street, and they got cars blocking our view. So they're triangulating us, basically. So Hank and I worked together a few times, so I just stopped. We bailed out, and we split, and we got behind the cars to our doors. Mm-hmm. So now we're on the same side of the street on both sides of them. Because that car is going to get lit up if they're going to just assassinate us if we stay in the car. Mm-hmm. So we start calling the ball. Let me see your hands, all that kind of shit. And I can see the one on the south side kind of hiding behind like a palm tree in a car. The one on the north side, he's just hiding behind the car. Like they're looking at us. They know we saw them, but they're kind of blocking their lower body with the cars. Let me just get out. Yeah, we have our guns out, of course, right? And they both just walk out. They just come towards us. So we put them on the curb, search them out. And as soon as they're done being searched, I walk over to where they were. Hank gets behind them. Now they're on the curb, legs out, cross legs. So Hank's got control of them. They're not hooked. They're just sitting on the curb between our car and another car. So I walk to the south side. I look down where that one guy was, the first guy was, and there's a strap on the ground. Then I walk to the north side, and I look, and there's a strap on the ground.
Anytime that could have went.
And then I come back around, and I go to Hank, and we had our word. And the two guys, they think I missed it because I left the guns. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I left both guns, and I go back to Hank, and I just start bullshitting, like, what are you guys doing out here? Just, they're laughing and joking because they think they're going home. Mm-hmm. And you do the whole, oh, let me search you again. Click, hook them up, throw them in the car, go back and get the guns. And we go back to the station. And I forgot to mention this, but when we went out, Scale's telling us, there ain't shit going on. There ain't nothing out there. No one's got anything in weeks and blah, blah, blah. We come back 10, 15 times too.
With guns.
And two guns. And Scale's almost like mad. He's like, what the hell? You guys visitors come here and take our guns and take our gangsters. Like, shit, you ain't working, Steve. And of course, we got a bunch of shit for it. But I was just mentioning the tactics of it. We had no control of those two guys. If they wanted to light us up, they would have.
Oh yeah, it could have went before they gave up.
We would have. It would have been a battle, but they could have got the drop.
Mm-hmm.
You just sometimes you get lucky.
Well, that it's interesting. That's a perfect segue. We can talk about this. We don't have to, but we both worked the gang unit for years. You were there 9 years?
11
years. I was there 9, I think. 9 years. And then you went off to the undercover detective unit. Mm-hmm. There's all these different ranks. There's deputy, trainee, deputy, detective. Well, the team that we both went to is a bonus 2 hard detective, just like our homicide detectives. And we discussed this before. There's not many on the department.
It's arson, homicide, and tech ops.
Yeah. There's a couple others,
but few others, but that's the most of them.
Rough. If we're fully staffed, it's about 220 bonus 2s in the entire 10,000 strong, 10,005. But we go off to this undercover unit, and I'm going to throw this at you and then let you run the ball. But you remember, and this is why it was so important to come from the unit we came from, because you never know what you're gonna get when you're gonna go handle something. But do you remember? I'll say the story. Because I don't know if you remember the specific. I remember why, and if you don't, then it kind of kills the story. But so we get called out for homicide, for a murder, and it was in Linwood, and it was on Atlantic, and we had like a mile or 2 mile stretch that we had to go look for video.
I remember.
And the reason that started was because some repossession guys were trying to get this Camry or whatever it was, and they had tried for a while, several months, and it was down this alley, and at the end of an alley, and it was we're not going to say the gang anyway, but it's somebody in the gang, the local gang there, owned the car. Anyways, this particular gang member was having a party late at night, whatever, and he told his sister, I don't want you in here with my homeboys, so just grab some blankets and get in the back of the Toyota in the driveway or whatever. Well, here comes the repossession guys, and they find the car, and they look in with their lights and stuff, and there's nobody in the car. There's just a blanket there, and they hook up the car and they take off. Lo and behold, she's at the back.
Yep.
So the gangsters come out and they see that, oh my God, they got it, and they look down, they can see the tow truck going. So now they know that they got the car, so they chase it. And they chase it up Atlantic. They're in pursuit of a tow truck with a car on the back, and he's running for his life. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was on video, on TV, all kinds of crap, but he went running for his life. Long story short, and correct me if I'm wrong, they killed him?
Yeah.
And didn't she die too?
Yeah.
Yeah, they both died.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if
they just shot everything.
Yeah, and hence here we come. Here comes us, you and I.
Yeah, the after effect.
The after effect, that whole carnage. Mm-hmm. And I remember being in I don't remember what kind of store it was, but we got good video. We found some good video. So we did our thing. And I believe it was you. Correct me if I'm wrong. We were already pulling. It was already pulling, but you were the one sitting there doing your thing and pulling it. And I was scribe. And you noticed, because you were looking at the video, you could see the live shot, and you saw that woman walk in. Why don't you tell what you saw, if you remember?
Which one?
The cartel.
Oh, the girl the little girl. Well, she was following us.
Yeah, she was following us.
I was noticing this little girl was walking around, and every place we went to grab.
You say a little girl. She wasn't. She was a little woman.
She was a little person.
Yeah,
but she was a younger person.
She was adult,
yeah, but she was young. But she was, every time we would go pull video, she would follow us, act like she was shopping.
And then we were upstairs. I remember we were upstairs, and I said, that person's on us because every time we go somewhere, she walks in. And we every place we went, it was the same thing. And I tried to tell you, or I did tell you, when I worked dope, that area right there was huge cartel dope that they did. We watched drops daily on Atlantic. They love Home Depots. They love Lowe's because it's crowded. What they do, they drops and they swaps. Yeah. So they'll park in the parking lot, and then they'll all join up and they'll go to a certain car, get their stuff, and they'll take off from there. That's their MO. Cartels love to do this thing. So they don't go to a house. They go to a public area, and everybody goes to one car and picks up whatever they're in for. It'll be heroin, whatever. So that street is notorious. So they thought we were there for that. They guarantee. They thought we were checking them out for the drug stuff.
Probably everyone on that street was playing them.
Everyone. Yeah. Everyone. And it's Southgate, Bell, Huntington Park. That's their hub.
Yep.
Because they can blend in and do whatever they want. We were getting softball size heroin, just balloons, but softballs. Just 3 in a cup. They would put them in big gulps. So you could put 2 in each big gulp, and they'd hand you a big gulp and it had 2 softball size balls of heroin.
Whatever, yeah.
It's balloons. It's normal. It was a normal thing.
I can't tell you how many times us doing that undercover job that we did, we never had backup. We didn't wear vests.
Well, when I first got to the unit, you had to go one out. Like, I had to go up by myself to go recover, and I came back and I talked to John Powell. He'll attest to it. I pulled because deputy got shot in Linwood, and a friendly in the neighborhood says, I have video of this, the area where he was shot, an older lady. And so they called us, hey, can you grab video from this private house, a private residence? This lady's going to let you in to grab video, and it has an angle on our deputy that was shot. So I go in the house, and she's grandma to like 5 gangsters from the neighborhood, and they're sitting there playing PlayStation on the couch while I have my back to them, pulling video from her system, facing the kitchen. And it's the most vulnerable feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Because they know I'm a cop. I mean, they know, even if they thought I was a civilian, I'm getting evidence of their gangster friend who just shot one of our guys. And he got shot in the stomach. I don't know if you remember that. The Sentry deputy got shot in the stomach. The gang that supposedly shot him was that street. Now I'm in the house pulling video. So I went back to John Powell because I got the video. They didn't say shit to me. I got back to the house, I went to the barn, and I told John Powell, this is no more. I said, I'm not going out solo. This is stupid. You send guys out to these calls, and you think they're all going to be some mom and pop, barbershop. We're in the middle of the neighborhood. You sending guys out, that's dangerous. I'm not doing it again. You got to figure something out. He goes, well, we can go pairs. Well, wasn't that a thing before?
Yeah. Well, because everybody else on the team was like, oh.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, but look at the team that was there before you got there. They'd never been in that situation.
Well, yeah. Well,
not that if they were, they didn't even recognize it.
No, it happened all the time because we've said it on the show. I'm there to get a video of that's not our normal job. They made us do that job because we did video production, and we did planning cameras and shit. Well, you guys can do that. You can do this. And it was overtime. So hell yeah, I'll go grab some videos from crimes because it paid us overtime. It wasn't because it was special other than that. But we would go to these jobs, and by the time I finished, I was the only one there. I remember going to Compton on a liquor store. They shot a guy in the threshold of the liquor store. So his body is laying across the threshold. You can't not go in the liquor store unless you step over him. This is literally what I walked into. This is the scene.
It was Jack Rabbit.
It wasn't Jack Rabbit.
Wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Jack Rabbit. It should have been because everything was a Jack Rabbit. No, he's laying in the threshold. So for me to get in, I stepped over him. This is the only way to get in the place for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe the back door is blocked. I wouldn't know. I walked over him. Not supposed to cross over body, but I did. So I'm pulling video. Homeboy walks out of the liquor store, gets blasted to the door frame, falls dead. Gangster runs off, jumps in his car, is gone. I'm pulling video, right? So this is our angle of what we see. People are stepping over him, getting beer out of the fridge and putting it on the counter.
And shithead's on the phone calling 911
before you
and
got
he's
there.
ringing. No, I'm watching the before and after.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the threshold, and then he's dead. So they're stepping over him. Some girl bought a Gatorade, and she walked over him. Stepped over a dead guy, got the Gatorade, put it on the counter. But this is the best part: the guy who's calling 911, the store
owner or whatever,
he's calling 911. He's on the phone and he's ringing her up, and she grabs the thing and steps over and walks out. This is all the time. You know how it is.
That's our people, man.
Hey, what about pocket checking? Oh my God.
Be laying on the ground.
And they're going through his pockets, taking his watch.
Yep. Seen it.
All the time.
Man, I'm telling you, the human experience is not, I'm telling you, man, there's some.
The experience we had, I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny all the time. Because I remember for a while, I'm watching this stuff and you're going, I'm here because someone's dead. More than likely, that's why I'm here. You get to watch their last moments. Like I watched a girl go into a bar. She comes with all her friends. They're all dancing and partying. It's somebody's birthday. Young girl. She has a lot to drink. She gets in a fight with her boyfriend. This is in Lancaster. And they're arguing. He gets in the truck to drive away. She jumps on the side like, you're not leaving, basically.
On the side of the truck?
He's holding on the truck.
Okay.
This is a spat. He takes off. Now she's holding onto the back of the truck while he's driving. She flies off and she hits her head.
Yeah. She's dead.
No, she's not dead. She's alive.
Oh, God.
But instead of calling someone, he puts her in the truck and drives her home. So he drives her home, puts her in bed. Oh, she just hit her head. She's going to be fine.
Didn't you guys pull video from the home too? Yeah, I remember that.
Dude. And he calls his mom. So I think she's hurt. No, she's fine. She's fine. Well, they interviewed later. She was making like that sound where you're
agonal breathing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they put her to sleep. Like she'll be fine in the morning. Of course, she's not alive in the morning.
Yeah, she's unalive.
And so I'm thinking, I'm a human being. I have a daughter. So I'm thinking, man, I'm watching her have all this great time. And this is it. What do we live by as a clock? I know exactly when she or he or people die because I know the time of death because I'm looking at the day, the time when they got shot or got hit by a car or fell off a cliff. I know the time because that's the time I'm supposed to be getting. Remember, you get your before and your after. Mm-hmm. So I know up to that point, she's having the time of her life, and I know when she's going to die. And I know I'm not there, but it's just weird. It's a weird feeling knowing that is going to be something else in a few minutes, and you get to see it all. And it's horrible. It's horrible watching it after a while. And I would go home and tell my kids, don't you do this, don't do that, don't go here, don't go there. Mm-hmm. So my kids knew, you don't go to house parties. That was the rule, no house parties. None of my kids, when they're younger, ever put gas after dark. Because where were all our calls? Gas station, 7-Eleven. And you saw young kids getting wiped out. And they're not the party to the crime. They're pumping gas and they get shot because some idiots are shooting. Mm-hmm. So you see him pay for gas, go out and start pumping, and he's dead. So all these things I knew already, but they're just cemented in my mind after we watched it happen over and over. Most of our calls were things that are open up after dark, like nighttime.
The bewitching hour.
Yes. So, but I'm talking about the innocent people, the good kids. Like the good kids, you say, my kids are going to the movies. Remember that? Remember they went to the movies over there in Gardena, and those kids got killed because they're driving. There's 4 deep, but they just get shot at because someone thought they were someone else. Mm-hmm. But they're going to the fucking movies. They're not gangbangers. But because these idiots see a carload of dudes and one girl, they just start shooting in the car, and they killed the driver. I think people live thinking that nothing's going to happen to them. And you and I know it happens to everybody. Mom, dad, sister, brother. It happens to everyone. And they can control it because I've seen when it's controllable. People that don't live in that time, they survive. Why do you want to take the chance?
Yeah,
it's sad.
There's certain things we can do.
We see it on TV right now. I'm just saying, don't make bad choices and you can reduce the chance of you getting hurt. Just be smarter because you have to stop thinking that they're not out there. They're everywhere. Yep. Remember we did the one with Grandpa, with the kids, where we set up the camera where the parents were. Grandpa's molesting the babies. Mm-hmm. And we set up a camera in the house so they could confront him and try to get him on tape.
admitting that he did it, because you have nothing but the baby saying he did it. It's going to be hard to prove it because they're very young. So we set up the camera in the living room. This wasn't step grandpa. This was blood grandpa. And it came out later that he was going through all the kids.
That was that video was hard to watch.
Dude, those poor babies. Yeah. But
I mean, I'm talking about
which one?
The one where the same one, but when the family came in.
That's what I'm talking about. When they were crying and saying, "Just tell us." Yeah. It's not. People got to stop turning them like a blind eye. Yeah. It's terrible out there, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news or Mr. Doom and Gloom, but it's fucking terrible out there. There are terrible people out there. There's evil that you have. I hope you never see them. I remember interviewing a kid who shot a bunch of people, and and it was like talking to something else, man.
Yeah.
Not one bit of remorse, not one bit of any emotion. He's 15. Nothing. Zero.
Yeah. And you gotta wonder what made that. What he went through to.
I knew his whole story, because I did the warrant. I hit his house, got the gun, interviewed all the victims, and there was no reason for it other than that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah. Then there's that. You can't. There's no rhyme or reason, but they do it anyway.
But I think everybody needs to start opening their eyes to what's out there. Not to be hiding in your closet or anything like that. I'm just saying, take care of yourselves and be aware. You walk into a place, what are you looking at? You're looking at doors, you're looking at people, you're evaluating everybody because of your training. I mean, I've told people I care about, didn't you see that?
What?
What?
No.
You didn't see that guy walking down the street with a knife? Nope. And I think it's going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the last week alone has shown that. Last, 12, 13, 14 days.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm saying it, because I'm watching people react to what's just happened, things that have been happening. Like, what are you surprised about? What do you all of a sudden you're up in arms and in fear of something? That's what's out there. And these people that are getting hurt, most of them knew it, and they accepted it because they thought of a bigger cause. I get that.
Yeah, but
the people watching it are spectators. They should already know this. They should already know that's what's going to happen, or that could happen. It's going to continue to happen because there's horrible people in this world. Being a cop for 32 years, you're still doing your time. You've seen it over and over and over and over again. So you get kind of we call it. We don't even think about it.
Callous.
Kind of callous, but. If you don't continue to tell your family that it's there, you're doing a disservice. My daughter got in trouble in college because they were doing a school study on the death penalty. And the class was asked, who believes in the death penalty? Who believes in capital punishment? And only 2 people raised their hand, my daughter and another girl. And everybody in the class started, how can you do that? Death penalty, blah, blah, blah. And the teacher said, everybody calm down. The teacher was trying to be in the middle. And she finally asked my daughter, what do you think? Why do you believe in the death penalty? She goes, I believe anything that someone does to someone else, that should be done back to them. It's like if you kill somebody by shooting them, they should be shot to death. If they stab someone, they molest a kid, whatever. She believes it should be reciprocal. It should go back to you. And then everybody lost their minds, all the kids. And they asked the other girl, why do you believe in death penalty? She said, because I believe this. And she talked about something that happened to her. And the teacher, everybody's screaming at him basically, that the whole class is against him. And the teacher says, so can I ask what your father does, your parents do? She goes, my father's a detective at the sheriff's department. And everybody goes, yeah, see, that's why. Blah, 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 blah. And the teacher's, calm down. Says, so you had different bedtime stories than everybody else in this room. And she goes,
that's what the teacher said?
The teacher said that to my daughter. And my daughter says, my dad would come home and say, read this. And I'd hand her a 49. Read this. And I would read this. And there were police reports. Mm-hmm. And he'd go, read this. And he would hand me a police report. And I'd go, Dad. And I would read it. Reluctantly, but I'd read it. And it was always about a young girl my age going to a party with her friends, having too much to drink, being left behind, and bad things happening to her because her friends went out with the different dudes and they left her alone. And bad things happened to people who were left alone. Or it was some girl pumping gas who got kidnapped because she was out there 2 a.m, needed gas to go to school in the morning. My dad would make me read these reports, and everybody got really super quiet. So my dad never said, nothing's going to happen to you. He'd always say, this could happen to you, you know? So my daughter that's what I would do to her. I wouldn't say, this is what happened, let me tell you the story. I would make her read.
Make her read it.
Because, you're getting the victim statement. What she said happened.
Yeah.
So her words are on the paper. The victim said this. The victim said that. And this is what led up to it. And then the punchline is when she asked the other girl, so what does your father do? Oh, he's LAPD. Everybody's you guys you're biased or whatever. That's the way my daughter's that way. She I'm gonna get her in trouble right now. One time she went to a house party and she snuck out because no house parties allowed in my family, remember? And you know my daughter. She's tough as hell. But she snuck off and didn't tell me, like teenagers do. She called me from the closet, crying. So, of course, I get the phone. She's crying. What the hell's going on? I'm getting my gun. I'm running out the door. Dad, there was a shooting. I'm at a house party. Shooting at a house party. You hang out with the biggest nerds I've ever met in my life. They were band geeks. She decided to go to some party, and it wasn't even at the party. It was in the street, like a block away. But she jumped in the closet and called with her 2 friends, and she was calling for a ride. Everybody's running out to go look at the shooting. My daughter was taught go the opposite. Mm-hmm. So she goes, that's it. She gets in the car and she goes, don't say it. Don't say it.
She already knows. I'm in trouble.
Don't say it.
She gave herself restriction. I'll be restriction for 2 weeks. Sorry about that.
She worked at the Ontario Mills, and they killed a kid in the Ontario Mills Mall. She worked in one of the stores, Motherhood. They started shooting in the hallway. She grabbed her employee. She was at the register. Grabbed her employee and ran into the bathroom and locked the door. My kids are taught when the shit hits the fan, don't go look, run the other way. Because the ones who get hurt in our experience are the ones, the looky-loos. Mm-hmm. So she did that, and the dude that was getting shot at ran into her store, was running around the rounders, and they're shooting at him in her store.
Oh, man.
And then he went to the bathroom, and he pulled on the handle to, like, let me in. And her and the other girl were holding the door. And he ran out. They actually shot him, like, running towards the parking lot. Killed him.
Dang. They wanted him.
So I went, of course, I heard this. I went down there, and they had yellow tapes up. And I showed him my badge. He goes, come on in, sir. So she was in, like, a little back room just crying. And of course, I went to her. And she shows me what happened. She goes, Dad, that was right here. And where she was standing at the register, you know how they have magazines? Mm-hmm. Completely just full of bullet holes. The whole register was shot to hell.
That's where they were standing.
That's where she was standing when she grabbed her employee, because she was a manager, and grabbed her and pulled in the store. She goes, I remember what you told me. As soon as I heard the argument, she could hear her screaming in the hallway, the main corridor of Ontario Mills. She grabbed her partner and ran in. And then the shooting started. That's the way you do it, man. I don't care. I scream at my kids. When I was a kid, you heard fight, everybody would go run to it. Mm-hmm. You can't do that anymore.
Not anymore, no. When we were kids, it's high school and stuff.
It's like, get them.
Yeah, not now.
Do you remember that guy, that video I showed you, that man at the shooting at the bar? It was a bar shooting where they started shooting everybody in the bar. And that one man in the video just started walking through the bar. Remember I showed you? I said, he's either an angel or the devil, because there's people screaming and shooting, and he got up out of his chair and he walked.
He just slowly walked out. Didn't he leave?
Yeah, he
just got up and
he
walked out
through the carnage. They're still shooting.
I remember that. It looked like he was superimposed.
No, I said, Dan, come and look at this. Come and look at this. I think I just found someone, like a time traveler or some. He walks through it. That was so interesting.
That guy and all the black cats at every murder scene. Those two are related. Those are probably his cats.
I told you. There's a black cat at every murder scene.
Everyone. Just about.
No matter which video you watch of any kind of crime, there's going to be a black cat to walk through it. I made you come look. There's another one.
I always laughed, and then we started tattling. We counted so many we stopped counting.
Do you remember when Homicide would come in and would say, "Can you guys get a description?" I go, "Yeah, it's the same guy, dude. He's killing everybody in LA. He's wearing a black leotard, a black hoodie, a black hood, and black shoes, because that's the silhouette of that guy running. It's the same guy killing everybody in LA.
We got a serial killer on the loose.
He's like a full black bodysuit, like a leotard.
Yeah,
that's what he's wearing. It's because it's dark. You can't see shit. It's just a figure running across your screen.
Horrible video. That's all you're gonna get.
Or trying to tell you what color it is. What color is the car?
Whatever color you want it to be. Don't you understand that most nighttime, they
go into black and white.
It turns to black and white. So silver could be white.
Well, black is pink.
It's just like
sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes they're like, well, can you give us the scale of what that color would be in color? Remember that? Okay. What color you want it to be today?
What color car was it? I mean, dude, it could be anything on the scale, brother. But it looks like it's green. Good luck. I'm going to talk about when we went in the crawl space and you got electrocuted.
Well,
do you remember that? It was the girl that was selling drugs, right?
We were in
the attorney room.
We were in Twin Towers, was it?
No, that was NCCF.
Oh, yeah, that's right. NCCF.
Wasn't a female there was Skittles. She was putting Skittles through the window to the attorney room, right? Something?
Yeah. Like many times we'd end up into some shit that you'd get us into. But come on, we're going to go to NCCF. Oh, this ought to be fun. What are we doing?
But that was after the meeting with Joe Eaton. Joe and I went to the meeting. There's a preamble. Joe and I went to a meeting with all the brass in the department, dude, and they were going after that a female who was bringing in drugs into the NCCF.
You're not talking about the time you backed into the pole, are you?
No, that's a different time. That was Joe, not me.
I know.
That's when they spilled. I never mind. Anyways, we're at this table, and they're all trying to come up with a game plan because a female employee was working with people on the outside. They would bring in drugs and pass it through the little window they have there, and she would take it into the jail and they would sell it, whatever. They had this whole operational. We're going to do this. We're going to go in here. We're going to put a wire on this guy. He's going to go in and sit in the attorney room, watch it happen, and blah blah blah. And they're going to record this and record that. And everyone was in there, including the undersheriff. Everyone. And it went around the round table.
That's why I wasn't invited.
It's probably right. It was me and Joe. And Major Crimes was already drawing maps like, this is what we're going to do, and you're going to wear the wire. Dude, so they're on one corner. You might have been there. At one corner of the table, already planning. And they get around to me, and it's the funniest thing because Richie Mayer is sitting there too. And Richie had already told me some stuff. And Richie's a great man. So Richie and me are boys. He started me on the idea of what was going to happen. But anyways, I'll tell you what he said. Hey, this Adam, our tech ops is here. Hey, Adam, what do you got? I swear it's the funniest thing because they're all proud of themselves that they're going to do this huge operation. But by the time they got to me to ask me my opinion, I said, well, none of that's going to work. And Joe kicked me like, Joe kicked me like, dude. I said, well, and they all looked at, everybody stopped writing and looks over at me. I knew them all, those Iggy, everybody was there.
Yeah.
And I said, none of that's going to work. I don't know what you guys
You're not going to be able to transmit. You're not going to be able to do any of that.
I said, this is jail. It's made out of cinder block, concrete, and rebar.
Yeah.
I said, this is a Faraday cage. You're not going to put a bug on this guy and he's going to walk in and you're going to be
able to hear him.
10-4, I hear you. As soon as he walks in the jail, he's gone.
You're not going to hear from him again.
I said, now he's on his own on operation without any backup because he's going into the fire.
It's Operation Toilet Bowl, dude.
Yep. And then they said, and video is even worse. It's not transmitting. I can't transmit video over wire. It's a jail system. It's built so you can't get out. And I'm kind of doing this laughing. And they're getting like pissed off because they had this plan. And they go, what do you suggest? I go, I don't know.
You don't know.
I go, I don't know. I have ideas, but none of that, what you just said, is going to work. I said, but we can try some things. We got to test it and see how far to go. And I said, probably do like a mobile thing where we're following him in and we're actually recording or transmitting closer, maybe, or we can get in there. Maybe there's a room in there. We could do something when he walks in. Now I can hear him. Mm-hmm. But trying to hear him from the parking lot
ain't gonna happen.
Ain't happening. So I said, maybe we can do something where we're already in and we know he's out of contact until he comes in, because he'll pick up as soon as he walks in with the stuff we have. And that's what I was going to tell you about Richie. After it's all over, they have to figure it out, and we figured it out. Dan Leicht figured it out.
I learned Ebonics, dude.
You learned Ebonics that day. I told Richie, I go, Richie, he goes, I've been trying to tell him, because remember Richie was doing pole camp.
Yeah.
He goes, I've been trying to tell him.
They don't listen to Richie.
Well, Richie had already been doing some stuff. I don't want to say how they do things, but Richie had already started, and he goes, that it doesn't work. You know what, Richie's kind of what we did, but different equipment.
Yeah, but Richie was even more brash.
Oh yeah,
he would tell the undersheriff, man,
that's what he said. He goes, I've been telling you. And I go, was I too blunt? He goes, no, man, they need to hear that shit. So we ended up having to go inside.
Yeah, you and I.
And deploy something.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not good enough to go to the meeting. Let's get Dan to do. I'm like Mikey in the Mikey.
Well, Joe was smart enough to get out of it.
Yeah, I'm like the little Mikey in the Life commercial.
I like the challenge of it. I'm gonna get Dan. Dan will do this with me. We'll almost die twice.
Man, I've been chased by more things than I can count.
We had to climb in that crawl space.
Well,
oh my God.
The interesting thing, the crawl space. First of all,
rats.
Yeah, there's no room in there.
They're the biggest rats I've ever seen in my life.
So if I'm not mistaken, we brought our system in and needed to find a power source.
Power source, always, because it's got to be constant power.
Now remember, we're in a jail. We're in one of the county's biggest jails, and they don't close. It's not like, okay, it's 10 o'clock, everybody out.
That's deploying while the employees are still there.
I remember specifically, we did, we had that, obviously we were going to put a camera in with audio. And I mean, that's major federal offense, what they were doing.
Yeah.
So we did our thing. We got the pinhole we needed to shoot through, and we did all that, and now we just needed power source. And I remember there was people out in the day room, and we find our power source, and I don't even, God, maybe the only reason I'm here today on multiple fronts is because of God. Because this one should have put me 4 sheets under. I mean,
277 volts.
How
industrial's 277,
yeah,
brother. It ain't the 110.
So I remember when I hit it the first time, when it hit. Thank God we were wearing the right stuff, or we wouldn't be here. But we hit it, and do you remember? Do you remember what happened when that first time it happened?
It was daylight. First of all, downstairs,
dude. Do you remember? But do you remember the inmates?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, they thought lightning struck inside the building.
It was daylight inside. You turn on the sun.
Oh my gosh.
The blast radius must have been huge, and it was sneaking out the cracks. So they're under us.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's an opening. It's the cracks in the ceiling was so bright that light came through, and everybody said, "Whoa, what was that?"
I remember that. You could hear him say, "What the hell was that?" People looking around, and I just remember I think I had curly hair there for a long time after that, but I think I sat there and looked at you, and you asked me, "Are you okay?" And whatever I said to you was in Ebonics. I think I was speaking backwards for a minute.
I had to wait for you to speak English again because I didn't know what you're saying. You got zapped so hard. It was a loud bang because it just blew up. You blew off the prongs on my meter, I think.
We welded the prongs to the box is what we did.
Well, you try to hit the junction box. And the way we do it is we try to get the power source to our equipment. You want constant power so it doesn't shut off, and it can't be intermittent where it's turning off and on. It has to stay on all the time. And you have to our equipment isn't going to take 2 and a 7. So you have to step down.
Yeah.
You have to step down. So you have to have a step down. People who know electronics knows what I'm talking about. So to hit 277, to get to
110,
basically 110 is a lot. But our team, it wasn't me, but guys on our team built step downs from hand. I think it was Mike.
Yeah, Mike built them.
And then you looked in the box, you opened the junction box. But you got to say, you're on your belly in a crawl space that's just like
it's about this high off the ground, yeah.
So you're on your belly with the light, trying to look in this junction box, trying to find power. And because it's a jail system, they don't use a regular color system. There was purple, violet, green, yellow. I don't even think there was green. There was every color in the rainbow except what you're normally seeing, black. I would have loved to see a brown. That was not even a brown.
It was every color in the rainbow in there.
So you have to fish. You have to see where the power is on each one of those wires. So the only way you can do
testing it, yeah.
You have to break the plastic and touch the wire in this little crawl space, looking with the stupid light, and you're probing. No matter what, you're gonna hit the wrong thing. And I think you hit the side of the box because that thing exploded.
We didn't. People want to say these dumbasses here sitting trying to stab 277. No. That's not. We're
you
not,
can't turn the power off.
You can't turn it off, but you can test it. But it was that box was so full.
That's like 50 wires. But then we got the posi tabs later, which are great. But we didn't have any. We had a meter. Yeah. They handed me a meter and said, go do this when I first got to that unit. We got all the good shit later. We even got the gloves later because of that job.
We blew that shit up. Dude, I don't know how I don't even know how that we pulled that off. But
well, people would say, well, you should have went to the lights or whatever. You can't because they turn off the freaking lights. Mm-hmm. So you need something that's constant. You need the power source that goes to light before it shuts off. So you have to poke and prod each wire, and they're in spaghetti. It's county. It's like just crushed together. Mm-hmm. So every time you touch one, you're trying not to touch something else because you have to test it on something. But I remember we had guys on the eyes downstairs in the room below us because they would be telling us where the cameras, because we would talk. Okay, which way I turn the camera because I need to hit a specific spot where she was working, like right over her area. Because you can't film everybody, you have to film the right person. And we came back downstairs, and I think it was Steve. Like, dude, it was like the brightest. He says, "I'm standing here, all of a sudden I'm blind, just flash a light for no reason."
You
in the jail. And first you heard this explosion and this flash, and everybody just kind of looked and just kept doing what they're doing. he goes, I was like, oh shit, we're burned, because no one's gonna not say something, but everybody just kept doing their job.
All those guys were playing dominoes and spades. They're like, what the hell's going on? I swear, when we came out of there, my hair was all standing up. The hair on my arms was standing up. I think my toe hair was standing up. And I had shoes on. Man, dude, I felt like I was energized. I felt like, flame on. Dude, I was like, what the hell happened? It went all the way down my body, out my toes.
Well, it's your fault because I used to be a lot smarter before that happened. I'm just dumb as hell.
Well, I know 2 languages now.
But it worked. We got it, and we got her.
Yeah, we did. I mean, it did work. Nothing we ever did didn't work.
But it took some time to figure it out.
That one was, though, that we're lucky.
Were you with me when we did the sergeant's car?
When it came to us?
Yeah. It was another department. Yeah.
You had to take old Ding Dong with you because he got so upset.
Yeah, that was a bad one. But I remember we would lose trackers in Mexico. Like we would we're watching this guy drive a car, and then all of a sudden he's a dope dealer. He's a dope dealer, and he's going towards the border. And as soon as it goes over the border, you lose it. Mm-hmm. And then bling, it comes back. And I called the marshals to go get it. I think it was you and me when we got the box. Because we can't go over to, it's El Paso. Mm-hmm. Say, hey, Marshal, I know where this car is. Can you go get my tracker? Well, where is it? I go, it's under the dash, on top of the stereo, somewhere under the dash. It can be, sometimes it's in the light, sometimes it's all over the car. But this time it was on the dash. They sent me the whole fucking dashboard.
That's right. They shipped the whole thing back. 1994
Ford Bronco dashboard because they couldn't find it.
Couldn't find it.
I said, man, we were good. But the whole dashboard, and they just ripped it out. So the wires are just shredded because they arrested the dude. Just the whole dashboard. And I call him, I said, dude, what the hell? He go, hey, man, you wanted the dashboard. He said it was on that. We couldn't find it.
That's what you love about that's when you love when it's like the U.S. Marshals.
Oh, I love the Marshals. Yeah, they did great jobs for me, especially at OSS.
Yeah,
I sent them to go do stuff.
Hey, I just need this. And next thing you know, you got a whole van. There you go. That's yours.
I sent them for a guy in Texas, and they just kidnapped him, dude. I had the warrant and everything, the bench warrant. It was all legal. Sent it all to him, but he was playing football with some kid. They go, it was the greatest thing. He lived in the projects. I guess they have some kind of projects over in Texas. He's throwing a football with some kid, and the kid overthrew him. So he goes to pick up the football, and they jumped out of the bushes, and grabbed him, and took him. I go, did you bring the football? No, we left the football there. I said, I wanted them to go into the house and search his room. He goes, dude, there's no way. It would have been a war. It was just, the place was just overrun. He goes, best thing we could do is just grab him. I said, that's cool. I got him. I love those dudes.
Yeah, the U.S. Marshals are awesome.
They're great.
They're a little different. They are the first. They are it. They were
it's true.
The very first. So they were run by a completely different.
They like the work, though. You give them a job, they're on it, man. There's no
Where are we going? Mexico. All right.
They're probably as close to the sheriffs to me as I could see. The guys there are hungry, and they love the work. They love to eat.
Well, those are some of those things like, there's so many we did.
Well, we did a tracker one time in Palmdale. We're putting a tracker in, and I think I handed it to you. It was you. I reach in and go, look, there was already a tracker in the car.
Yeah, there was already one there. Remember we did...
somebody else was looking for him, too.
I think it was majors. It was 4 majors. I think, I could be wrong. It could have been homicide. But we went to that condominium complex in Huntington Beach.
Oh, shit. That was yours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was your case.
But that one, I mean... The only time he was home was midday. You couldn't find him any other time.
And it was a nice area.
It's right by Bolsa Chica. It's right at...
Didn't normally go over there, but you made me go over there. We had to go get that tracker.
What did you say? We don't work over there. I said, the bear goes everywhere, dude. We're going to Orange County. Let's go.
I just know we're not going to fit in. And I learned a lesson.
Who's not going to fit in?
Me. I learned a lesson one time, and Richie Mayer taught it to me. I was in the car with Richie when I first got to dope, and we were sitting on the eye on something. We were close eye, and he put us there. And I'm worried about it. I'm like, dude, they're gonna see us. We're gonna get burned. And he goes, dude, the only one who knows you're a cop is you. And I said, you're right.
Yeah.
Because you're so...
that's the hardest part.
It's very...
Being undercover for so many years, that's a hard thing to turn off.
Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, fuck, you fucking got me.
You remember we went to... It was somewhere in South Central. It was a murder. It was, lo and behold, it was a little mom and pop gas station deal. And I remember I looked like I said, what is it? What's the name of that? Captain Morgan? What the heck? I looked like a pirate, dude. My hair was long. My goatee was long.
Jack Sparrow?
Yeah. No, not like that. But it was a murder, and we went to pull video or put something in. I can't remember, but it was at the little mom and pop shop in South Central. And it was early in the morning, probably like 7:30. And we get in there, and it's cold, it's winter, and I'm wearing a Pendleton, and my hair's long. I look like, any number of biker gang you could think of. And I remember they knew we were there. Yeah. The local area, the gang, they knew we were in there. And we were wherever their system was. And the whole place, they started congregating. There's probably 5 or 6 of them. They're getting on the phone, and you were doing your thing. And I remember I said, I'm going to go nip this in the bud. And, but I walked out thinking, we were in that room, the back room, like we were in now. And I walked out there thinking like, oh, I'm in uniform. Mm-hmm. Right.
It's hard to take off.
And then it hit me like, whoa, wait, they're not even going to listen to me. But so I did, as I was walking out to the door to get him to leave, as I said, I looked like the way I was dressed, you would think I was a biker, or in a biker gang. And I walked out, and that neighborhood was black. Yeah, they're all blacks, and they said something to me like, "What you looking at, Cracker?" And I said, Something like that. And my response was, give me a minute and I'll show you. And they looked at me like, this dude's nuts. But then when I said it, I was like, I'm not uniform. Right? I'm not. Then I remembered, I got it. And I pulled the badge that we wore around our neck. I pulled that out. And the guy, it's like that. And he goes, it's more like that. And they all disappeared.
Yeah, like the liquor store in Lenox. My boys.
This guy, did we tell that story? I'm going to tell that story. We can stop whenever you want. But
I got to bring up old shit.
I say that all the time to Melinda. I say, why you got to bring up old shit? She'll say it like, remember yesterday? Why you got to bring up old shit? That's too far away. But I remember, I don't know how long I've been on this. Yeah, I've been in there a while. So we take my car. I'm driving. Everywhere I went, you were senior man on the team, so I drove. That's how everything. We went training. You set all the training up. I drove. I got the. Remember that time I drove that car that was a self-driving car?
Yeah.
We'll tell that story later. But so
seniority is a good thing, dude. Seniority is great.
So we go to South Central, and it was a murder. Lo and behold, we're the murder detectives, but part of them. But we get there, and I got all kinds of crap in my car. I think it was one of those days or weeks in the summer where we were getting our ass handed to us. It was probably our fourth place we'd been that day, and we had stuff everywhere in the car.
Yep.
And so I was trying to gather my stuff so we could go in and do our thing. So it took me a second, right? And you're already out of the car, and I'm thinking you're just waiting right inside, getting ready, whatever. And I get all my stuff together. I shut the door. I'm starting to walk to the front door of the liquor store, and I look around. I can't find you anywhere. You're not, you wouldn't know all the way to the back yet. I'm looking. Where the hell did he go? Damn it. I'm like, Adam. And I realize the best place to hide is right out in the open. And I look at the door, and just to the right of the door, there's 3 guys there hanging out. And it was like cowboys and Indians, dude. You had a couple black guys and a Hispanic guy. And then I realized, sprinkled in the middle of those 3, they're leaning against the wall with one leg popped up on the wall, and there's the 4th little guy right in between all of them with his leg popped up on the wall, looking right and left. Hey, what's up, homies? How you doing? Like, dude, I looked at him like, what are you doing? I'm like, stop feeding the locals, man. It's getting
Oh my God, that was hilarious. I waited so long watching you just go look around. Where the hell did he go? And the dude on my right is like, what's up? I go, what's up? And we're posted up. I'm plain clothes. I'm just one of the guys. I'm not looking like a cop. And the guy on the right looks at me and this guy must be crazy. But watching you do this, like you're at Disneyland looking for your other, what the hell? And then
you were just here a minute ago.
What the hell? And then dude looks at me and he goes, is he with you? I get out, walk away. But your face was hilarious, dude. I knew it'd get a good kick out. And those guys weren't going to do shit.
I could not find you. I was like, I lost them already.
It'd have been fun. It would have been fun if they tried, but they're just posted up looking for trouble, probably. But
yeah, I don't know.
I grew up in those neighborhoods, man. They're fine. Like,
it's classic.
Do nothing stupid. You're going to be fine. I didn't even know why I did it. Probably a dumb thing to do, but it was hilarious at the time.
Like you said earlier, you got to laugh.
You got to, and I would try to make you laugh. Yeah, you're always mad at me. Dan was always mad at me. Mean. No, we had fun though.
I got 5 days left.
What?
That's it. 5 days.
You can go tell the sheriff what you think of him right now.
I don't think I have to. I think everybody else is doing that. These guys getting raked over the coals.
Yeah, I can't really talk about. I don't know anything about him. I don't keep up. I don't read the news about that stuff. I don't have any clue what that guy's doing except for what I hear from family members. But it's very little. Because they know I don't want to hear it. Nothing I do about it. So what do I care? What I do tell them is, if you want to be sheriff, go be sheriff. But if people want to be, like, somebody went and took that position, you should go into that position thinking you're only going to do 1 term. If I become president, governor, whatever, if I go in there with the mindset that I'm going to do 1 term, I could probably kick some ass, man. I could probably do so well. But the people that are thinking this is my career, or it is their career, they're never going to do the right thing.
Yeah, they'll be aligned with all the wrong people.
Mm-hmm. But if you go in there saying, you run on that. I'm only doing 1 term. So don't come at me with all your shit. I'm going to fix all the stuff that's wrong. If you want to mess it up when I'm gone, mess it up when I'm gone, because I probably won't get reelected, but I'm going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And who's that going to be?
Nobody does that. They don't purposely go in there to run for one. They like work one term.
No, they're thinking I'm going to be something else as soon as they walk in the door. And that means you've just handcuffed yourself to doing the right thing or the things that need to be done because you're going to be afraid it's going to stop you from doing the next thing.
Yeah, or getting reelected.
I get it. You want to make, like who says, well, I only want a job for 4 years or 2 years. I want a career. No one wants a 2-year job. Mm-hmm. So I get it. But the mindset should be, that's the way it is. I'm only doing one term. I don't care what you tell me.
Yeah.
And if I get reelected, great. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah, I would. That's not my
cup of tea. The guy that's there now, he's looking at his next job. McDonald was the same way. Looking at my next job. Okay, he jumps from one to the other. It shows you how much dedication he had. He didn't care what department it was. He just wanted the job. If he cared about the sheriff's department, to be the sheriff, he shouldn't have went back to LAPD. He should have I'm going back to the sheriff's. That's what I want to do. But it was easy for him to jump back to his department because he never wanted to be a sheriff. He just wanted the job.
No, he tried to change. He tried to make the sheriff's department LAPD.
Well, even whatever it was, he didn't care what job it was. He just wanted that either pay raise or that power. But it had nothing to do with I believe in their cause or I understand their history and all that stuff. It was nothing to do with that. It was a job. It might as well be Kmart, bro.
Yeah.
Because if he leaves LAPD or he gets kicked out or whatever, what's he going to do? Jump back to Long Beach? Or these guys, you have to have some kind of some respect for the department you're going to.
Well, you don't respect the place you didn't come from.
Well, you just left it.
I mean, if you look at all across the country, usually, not always, but usually the people that try to leave the place better than they came into is somebody that came from that actual, because they have some
they have experience
skin in the game.
Yeah,
they have some skin in the game.
Well, not everything works, but you know what did.
Yeah.
You know how like we talked about the old days. I knew a lot of it didn't work. It sucked, some of it, but some of it was fantastic. You try to stick with the stuff that works.
That works, yeah.
But the times have changed. I get that too. But there's a way to do it without destroying everything. I mean, from what I know about what's going on now, just not willing to take any risks, not willing to bite the hand that's feeding him, not willing to be a man of his own free will. He's basically what will work that I won't look bad? What will work that won't make me lose my job? Will work that people won't back me for my next move?
Let's put it this way. Being the fact that, without even naming names, being the fact that the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is the largest, one of the oldest in the country, largest jail system in the world. So when there's an issue in the jail, Title 15 and all that stuff, you and I know this, all of that stuff, who looks into that? The federal government. Mm-hmm. So the federal government is in LA County Sheriff. From time to time, they've come in, did their investigations because it's Title 15, it's all that kind of stuff. Yet this particular person that's there now ran solely on the fact that there's a gang problem in the LA County Sheriff's Department. If that was true, the feds would have gone after that a long time ago. And not one person, of all the times, all the sheriffs prior to him, not one person has been charged, relieved of duty for that, or fired. Fired, not relieved of duty, but fired. Nothing. None of them. That was a lie.
To get elected again.
To get elected.
What's power?
Well, what is, there's unfortunately, this, and I'll say his name because everybody has been through it, but, and I've said this before, and I know I've said it to you, and I've said it to people above us, and I didn't care what your rank were. You know that about me. I didn't care what your rank was. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to respect you, but if you're going to come at me because you're a man and you're upset, you don't think I'm not going to say something back.
It's not.
So what did I used to say? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, there's a video that's out now that I'd never seen it before until unfortunately after Charlie Kirk was passed. But there's a video of him to his wife saying, "You want to see the true what lies truly in a man's heart? Give him a little bit of power." Mm-hmm. and see what happens. And we're seeing this right now. Not just at the LA County Sheriff's Department. You're seeing it everywhere. There's good, but there's also people that let the power corrupt them.
I'm going to bring something up, and I'm not going to name names again because it doesn't need to be said. But when you and I were there, and we were in the middle of a lot of stuff, I remember people promising us shit. Like, hey, what do you want this? You want that? What can I do for you, basically? And I remember saying, I don't want shit.
I remember that.
You were a witness to it. I don't want shit. But, I can give you this. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. I don't want any of it.
And none of it illegal.
No. I'm talking about, just the standard.
What's your aspiration? Where do you want to be? What
do you want to promote, or do you want to be whatever? What's your career goals? I said, I'm an old man. I don't want none of it. I don't want none of it. I said what I said, and that was it. And it wasn't for me. And it was just because I just trying to think of something. And it happened. So that man was a man of his word. But I don't need nothing. I don't need nothing from any of you. I think what we talked about before, I'm more rich at home than I am anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And you're not gonna dissuade me or persuade me either way. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. The people I have around me are very specifically picked. And they're my friends. I love them and I'm loyal to them. Mm-hmm. I don't have a big posse. My posse is tiny.
Yours and my bull. I think I can.
So
very small.
You want to try to bribe me or give me gifts? It ain't gonna happen because I don't need anything from anybody. That's why my whole career I fought the battles without ever worrying about what they could do to me, because there was nothing they could do to me to hurt me. Mm-hmm. If you have that. I'm trying to talk to younger deputies. You have that strength where your priorities aren't the department, and you conduct yourself honorably. There is nothing that can go wrong. There's nothing that they can do to you, and they're gonna try to throw jewels and gifts and cars and boats at you, figuratively speaking. And you can just say, "I don't need none of that shit," and they're gonna be scared of you, because if you get around people that don't need your shit. They worry about you. I remember them coming at us many times. The high-ups coming at me and you. Hard. And we knew why. Because we couldn't be bought. Not illegally. Just favorably. Mm-hmm. Favors.
Well, the one thing that they forgot as they climbed up their gold ladder was the law.
Yeah.
And you fall back on the law and the truth and that's illegal. Yeah, but I said to do it.
Nope.
Yeah, well, you aren't God, so we're not doing that.
Like when I almost got written up for cleaning out my desk.
Oh my God. So this is if you were trying to speak to.
I'm just saying the feeling of I know I'm not walking out of this room at a disadvantage. I have all the cards and you don't even know it, and it's awesome. That's awesome.
I wish you had told me, because I got in trouble for you cleaning out your desk.
Hey, I texted you when they called you in.
No, not that time.
The second time.
Yeah.
But the same week.
Oh, I remember when you disappeared. Mm-hmm. You all of a sudden you were gone for like 45 minutes, mm-hmm. and they let you go. And then now you text me and you say, "Hey, the lieutenant wants to talk to you," and you said. I didn't know where you were. Mm-hmm. You just said, "Hey," instead of coming back in the office, I don't know where you went, but you probably walked outside, and you said, "The lieutenant wants to talk to you." And I don't remember exactly what you said. Don't get mad.
Don't get mad.
Don't get mad. You just said, don't get in like capital letters. And I remember reading that. I'm looking at my phone going, what the hell just happened? Like, where were you?
They had called me in and they tried to write me up, and I knew they were trying to play games, and I knew they were going to call you in.
They lost.
And I knew they were going to, the only hand they had was conduct unbecoming or incorrigible. Mm-hmm. So if you would have said what I know you were going to want to say, they would have got rid of you.
Well, I kept saying it over and over in my head. I kept they were
going to try to make voice, you lose your temper.
Yeah, your voice. I didn't know what you were doing. I didn't know where you went, so I didn't know what had happened.
That's all you needed to know. I knew you would listen to it because you understand.
But I kept saying it over and over in my head.
Don't get mad. And they were trying to get you mad because you told me what they said.
Dude, it was so funny because when that happened, I sat down in
Were
his
you
office.
Getting mad?
Oh, I was fine. He kept asking us questions, And then he wanted our opinion. We gave him our opinion. He got mad. Like, we asked for our opinion. You have no experience doing what we do, and you're going to be mad that we had an opinion, yet we do it. Anyway, I'm sitting across from his desk like we are, and he's sitting I said, is there a reason why the lights are off? And he goes, oh, you have an opinion about that too? And he goes, well, if you ask me, I will, but I don't understand why we're sitting in the dark. The lights are on everywhere, right?
The whole meeting was, let me get Dan to say something that I can get rid of him.
Yeah.
So let me get Dan to speak his mind.
He says whatever he says about whatever. I can't even remember. It was that meeting that we had when you said you told somebody, the whole room, none of you have testified a gang expert. He's like, I was a gang expert in narcotics. And you're like, oh, we started laughing at him. And the lieutenant's there. And then Stone says it. I should probably not say that. Okay, I don't give a crap.
I'm cutting all this.
And he gets mad. And we were cracking up. That was probably started there.
Well, because he was in the room when he tried to write me up. And they were sitting across from each other. And when my write-up came on, I flung it back at him. I flicked it back to him and slid across the table.
Well, he wasn't in there.
The sergeant, I went, though.
Yeah, but when the sergeant,
it was both of them. It was both of them when I did.
So I'm sitting in a dark room, and he thinks this is going to be easy peasy. And I just asked the question, why are we in the dark? And is there something you want to tell me? And he starts asking me questions, and he asked me a question for my opinion. I gave my opinion. He got all mad. I said, why are you mad? It's just an opinion. It's not like we're going to go out and save a life or anything. And this is exactly how I was answering this. And he got mad because and then he said, then he jumped up and he pushed himself away from the table and jumped up. And I'm looking at him going, are you upset? What's the matter? And all I got going in my mind is, don't get mad. And I'm trying not to laugh. And I'm like, are you upset? What are you upset about? Because I have an opinion? How does that work when you're at home, dude? And he's like, dude, this isn't about, he's screaming at me. I said, you know what? I don't feel comfortable. And I pushed my chair back and I said, I'd like to have somebody else in this room with me. And he goes, oh, really? I said, yeah, I have that right. And I looked out the window and Lieutenant Leon was there. And I said, Lieutenant Leon, can you come over here? And Leon did not like him. And he goes, yeah, what's up, Dan? And I said, can you sit in here? I don't feel comfortable. He goes, sure. And he sits down with me and I said, go ahead, finish. And next thing I know, you were sergeant. I was like, wow, that went well. From now on, I'm going to take his advice. Don't get mad. I just kept saying over and over in my head, like, don't get mad. Don't get mad.
Oh, my God.
That was funny.
Everything flipped over. It's so fucking funny. But anyways, I knew when I walked out of the room, they were calling you. And I said, I know what their plan is going to be.
That's exactly what it was.
It's what they did to Jerry. Just make them so pissed off that they say something they can use against them and basic conduct unbecoming or incorrigible, not listening to them or whatever.
Why is that? And I'll explain.
But they got nothing else.
Well, it's that. But in the hierarchy of the department, there's deputy, there's detective, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, commander, chief, undersheriff, or assistant sheriff, undersheriff, sheriff. So... But you don't ever list a bonus to detective. Mm-mm. But in the charter of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, there's technically all the other people are at-will employees. There's only 3 employees on that sheriff's department. There's the elected sheriff, there is the bonus to detective, and there's the deputy.
Yeah.
So in order to move a bonus to detective, he either A, has to move himself.
Or the job goes away.
B, he gets indicted, retires, leaves, whatever, or he's incorrigible and he can be removed. Other than that, you can't remove him.
Yep.
And he knew that, and he tried, like you said. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know you were even in a meeting with him. So I was completely unaware. And if you were right, if either one of us had popped off and said, shut up, jackass, that was it.
It was a chance for them to try to get us to be disrespectful. They could move us. It wasn't going to happen. I was done with them. I was laughing when I walked out. They thought they were cute, and it was funny as hell.
Well, they both got moved.
And then when he told me, he goes, we're gonna swap a bunch of people around or whatever. And then next phone call I got, I was walking up in the mountains, hiking. I get this phone call. You're acting sergeant starting tomorrow.
Yeah, that was Captain. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my God, I started laughing. It's just, it didn't need to happen. None of it needed to happen. They were all warned. from the beginning. You keep going down this road, you're going to get moved. You're going to get in trouble. Whatever. Just don't do it. Don't join in with the wrong crowd. Basically,
not the bonus too. It's your sergeants, your lieutenants, your captains. They can be moved whenever they want.
I said it.
I know. No, I know you know that, but I'm just for the audience.
No, I said I'm not going anywhere. You're going somewhere. Yeah. And he goes, no, there's no way. I go, I'm a lonely deputy, bro. You're a supervisor. You're gone. Get your shit in check. And no disrespect other than just get your shit in check. I shouldn't be trying to keep you guys out of trouble, but apparently you need it. So me and Dan, we circled the wagons and we got to retire.
Yeah, it's today. That's why I said in one of the previous interviews is, it's surprising. My biggest, nemesis was my own department.
Yeah, at the end, it got bad. But, I still had fun when we were in the car. What's cool about our job is it isn't a desk job. We were always in the field. We rarely went to the desk, and when we did, it was just boredom. Like, God, Jesus, when they going to call us?
Yeah, or we were processing some evidence we had to get to them. Other than that, it was
a field job.
Out in the field.
Yeah, we lived in our cars.
Yeah.
Literally sometimes. But at the end, it was fun. I had a good time. I'm glad I ended it working with Dan Leicht. We had a blast. It's just a big full circle. I remember when we worked in Norwalk together that night, and I scared you. And then we went to...
You scared me with scary?
I scared you with scary. And then we went to Tech Ops and had a blast. I don't know. I watched your career as I was going through, because I left OSS and you went to OSS. And I remember I would ask guys, how's Leicht doing? How's Leicht doing? Because I didn't work with you other than that one night. Mm-hmm. And then...
We were never on the same team.
And then you walked into Tech Ops. You were trying to do some kind of video or something. And
that's a hell of a story. We should do that.
You
one
wanted
day.
Pictures of your shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that guy?
No, you guys pulled the video, and then I needed pictures too.
And then I said to you, "Hey, we're hiring. You need to come over here." I'm going to homicide. I said, "That's what you think."
and oddly enough, I was didn't know it. I was going to both.
I know, I remember. But I said, you need to apply. And he looked at me and like, old fucker's always trying to give me orders or something.
No, I didn't. That's not at all what I thought.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you. But it was an opportunity. I thought, bonus 2, you're making top step sergeant pay, and you're still having fun. Because, mostly... The path was you go become a sergeant. You end up back in the jails.
Yeah.
Or you end up
early mornings.
Or watch sergeant some station you don't want to be at.
Feeding the chickens.
And you're writing injury reports and force reports. And it's a shit job. I'm sorry. Sergeant is a shit job. Unless you go to a special unit and you're in charge of an elite team or a specialized team. Field work sucks. Sergeant's job sucks. I don't care what sergeants tell me. It sucks. And the best part I learned from the guys here is the sergeants who went to become sergeants to help the young kids, help them, get them through their careers, because you can make a lot of mistakes. To become mentors. I like that. Mm-hmm. But they're doing an honorable thing, but they're doing a shitty job. It's just a crappy job. I'm not saying they're doing a crappy job at taking care of them. I'm doing a crappy job because it's admin work, man. It's paperwork. It's all day you're dealing with paperwork all day long. Yeah. So as a description
you're
job,
a manager, yeah.
The job as a description as it lays sucks.
Yeah.
It does. It just does. You're in trouble for everything. Your whole shift. You're the field sergeant. Everybody on that shift is your responsibility. And you know damn well on that shift there's 10 guys that are all good and there's 2 that just suck.
Yeah. And you're stuck with them.
You're stuck with them, but now you're responsible for them.
Promote up,
but you can't hide. You can't hide. You will be exposed even cops. You can't hide that you don't know your job. You can't hide that you're not good at your job. Mm-hmm. You're not a good supervisor. It's going to come out.
Yeah.
And it's going to spread because people are going to say this deputy is a shitty deputy, and everyone's going to know to watch out because someone said he is a bad deputy. And he might be a good deputy, but you got to figure it out. You're going to be looking at him differently. Even if you don't believe it, you're still going to watch. Mm-hmm. And sergeant's the same thing. You're going to end up being one of those guys that tries to go to a unit that you don't have to do anything. Because your reputation is everything. He's calling you sir because you have a reputation.
That's why John Steele was such an amazing sergeant.
Yes, and John Steele has a fantastic reputation.
Exactly.
And there's certain people we talked about, Liam Gallagher, those guys. Mm-hmm. You can't take that away from them. That's them. When you say great, you're going to use those names.
Yeah.
And for you to be that sergeant to take a test or take a test you're not ready for and then say, I'm going to do the job and I'm just going to wing it, doesn't work. Because you know what happened. Like it happened at Norwalk. There was a certain sergeant that would go out there and try to micromanage the calls. And then all the guys started, I remember when it happened, because I wasn't out, I didn't work Norwalk Patrol, but they stopped handling. Mm-hmm. She would show up, sorry, gave it away. And they would say, well, what are we doing, Sarge?
They make her make this decision.
She started hiding in her car.
Yep.
She wouldn't come out of her car.
Yep.
And then she called another sergeant to come and help her tell the guys what to do. Because the guys were sick of her getting out of her car and saying, you should do this and you shouldn't have done that. And you should. And she had like 2 minutes of training or experience. Mm-hmm. So the guys said, okay, fine. You're the sergeant. Tell us what to do. Lost it. Just rolled herself up.
Yep.
And the guys weren't being mean to her because I knew the guys that were talking to me about, because they would, everybody go to OSS and just vent. The TOs and the older guys, they would come in because we were all, most of the time we worked together before somewhere else. And they would tell me what was going on. So she's going out there trying to handle calls. Yeah, she comes out and you should have done that and starts yelling at people. And the guys, there's some OGs at Norwalk. I mean, those guys knew their shit. And she's going to tell them that. So they finally got tired of it and said, we're going to shut her down by making her do all of it. And I think she went to like Pico or something.
Yeah, they moved her. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they moved her.
She was famous.
Yeah, I remember. I remember she did that to the net team. I remember she did. She came and she goes, what are you guys doing? I said, I don't know. We're waiting for you to show up. And she looked at me. She goes, you have a sergeant. I said, he doesn't feel like playing today. We're going to go with you. What do you want to do? And every time she said, no, I was just going to go. No, we'll tell us what we're going to do and we'll do it. She got in her car and drove away.
There was a sergeant at Lakewood when I went to Lakewood for my timeout. When I got shipped.
You deserved that, by the way.
I did. He deserved what I told him, too. So I paid for it, and I'm glad I did it. I told him what he needed to hear. So I got shipped to Lakewood as my freeway therapy. And I just got there, and the guys were looking to me at that scene, and what do we want to do? Just go in. Just go in. What do you mean? Let's go in. We went in and did our thing and came out, and there was a sergeant from the walk standing at the door, and he says, "Well, I don't appreciate the way you guys handled this, whatever." And I go, "It's a good thing that we don't work for you, Sarge."
I remember that. He got all hurt.
He got all hurt. Walked to his car, and then he, later on, I called our sergeant, and I already talked to him, so he said, Go for it. That's stupid. I'm not going to do shit without
you have my blessing.
Yeah, but this guy's going to come over and tell us something. It's a good thing I don't work for you.
That was funny.
I forgot you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, that was a good one. I could go further, but I'm not going to. He was okay. He was a nice man, but weak ass sergeant.
Yeah,
and I told him so.
Unfortunately, again,
and that's why I ended up at Lakewood.
Well, the
telling sergeants. Do you remember when I went to Lakewood and you guys were told I was a bad guy? I was a bad cop coming.
Well, I was told by the lieutenant that you shall not named nameless. He was going to tell me all about it. I'm like, you don't even know him. What? You don't even know him. I've known him for years. Or Norwalk with him. Why don't you call Dwayne Harris and ask him about him, see what he says? And he shut up.
You're trying to badmouth me.
He was small enough. He was smart enough to realize that, maybe I'm not so sure. Maybe I don't have all the facts.
He told, Dan Morris told me the same thing. So did Brant. I appreciate Brant. He goes, man, we were told we were getting this piece of shit to our team.
But Brant already knew you.
But he didn't say a name. They said,
that's right.
Because a certain sergeant walked in and said.
No, you remember? But I knew. Yeah. Because I was the one that was going to replace you.
Yes, but that's nobody else knew.
Yeah.
But a certain sergeant walked in and tried to pad my landing.
That's why I knew who it was.
Sorry, guys. We're getting this real piece of shit OSS detective to our team, and he's going to disrupt everything. He's an incorrigible. He's hopelessly unmanageable. And I know we have a great team. And I'm sorry this guy has to come. I've been ordered that he's coming to our team because he got in trouble at his old team. And then I think it was Brand or somebody said, who is he? And he goes,
He goes, it's Cordova, Adam. And Brant goes, what the fuck are you talking about? Adam, that's my boy. Oh, we work together. We're partners. And everybody in the room was like, because Brant told me, he goes, everybody's like, oh, Adam. And then a couple of guys were like, man, I wouldn't be at OSS if it wasn't for Adam.
Me too. I said that.
And he backed off like, oh, well, I was told. And they go, nah, man, we'd be happy to have him. And when I got there, everybody on that team, everyone was like, oh, man, so cool you're here. So cool you're here. And I was like, why is everybody like thankful I'm here? And then I heard later they were all told that they were getting screwed over by me going to your team.
Well, I remember Robbie Erickson. You remember Robbie?
Oh, God, yes.
And Robbie Erickson was SWAT team for 12 years, but he, or SEB. And I remember, he was man of few words.
Stud.
And he, when it came out and all that stuff, and he looked right at the lieutenant. He goes, you want to tell me what you told them? And he goes, well, I just talked to him because you're just on loan until you go. I told him who was coming, and he goes, no, I want you to tell me what you said. And he goes, well, we're not going to do that here. And he goes, that's because you're a coward.
Oh, shit.
And Robbie, Robbie was older than all of us.
No, but very few words and just a legend.
And he said, that's because you're a coward.
And he's got to say shit to Robbie.
And he looked at him and he goes, and they were both on SCB together. Mm-hmm. And he goes, that's because you're a coward. You probably shouldn't have started out that way.
No. Robbie,
I was like, oh, damn.
When Robbie's he's a badass. When I got to your team, Robbie, we did some stuff, and Robbie, he looked at me, he goes, Adam, I need to talk to you. All right, let's go. What's up, Rob? He goes, I can see there's some good guys on this team. He goes, but I need you to help me figure shit out.
Fix Dan?
No. He goes, I would appreciate if you'd help me be OSS again, because he was OSS before.
Oh, that's right. No, I remember this conversation. Yeah,
and I remember that. And I said to him, I go, man,
yeah,
dude,
he was gone for a long time.
Yeah,
so
he goes, but I know, I can tell you're the guy you need to watch. And I said, Rob, I appreciate that. It was, that was a big thing.
Oh yeah.
And I hope he sees this, because I hope he sees this, because I really took that as an honor, because he's the man. He's a legend to ask me to help him out. And I was on bricks. He's asking, you sure you want to
do that? You want to attach your wagon to my horse? That's a bad idea.
You know, I was rolled up yesterday. So I want to talk about the day I met you.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Do you remember your boss, who it was?
At that time?
Sergeant
Ken Perry.
Sergeant Ken Perry came in and said he wanted me to work with your guys.
So I was working the NET team, North Enforcement Team, and you were working OSS as a detective. Yeah.
But first time we were in the car together, and you start to chit chat and see who's sitting next to me, basically. If I can work around you.
Yeah.
And I asked you some questions. I said, like, what did you do before? And you told me you were an artist. Mm-hmm. And you told me you went to Otis Parsons.
Yeah.
Which was a dream of mine when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was the icebreaker.
Yeah, but I also told you, what the fuck are you doing sitting next to me?
You did say that. What the hell are you doing here, sitting here?
I said, why are you here? That's the place I wanted to go. I tried to get in there, and they didn't even look at me, man. They just threw my application in the trash. But it's a great school. But I remember that day, and I was thinking, why is an artist sitting next to me in a sheriff's car? And then you told me how you got there and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We talked about more. And then you told me some things like you work for The Simpsons.
Yeah, I did. It was through Willardson and Associates. The Simpsons, they were like an overnight success. They got huge, and they had. So I went to Otis Parsons. Mm-hmm. It's actually Otis. At that time, it was Otis Institute of Parsons School of Designs. It was been there since the 70s. It was Otis. Went bankrupt. Parsons bought it, brought it back up. Yep. Top 5 school in the country for art. And so when like I said, The Simpsons became an overnight success, they had so many people around LA in studios doing The Simpsons that they needed to rein in the structure and the license of each character, just like Disney has. Mm-hmm. So they did that, and by doing that, them being Fox, because Fox bought them, and they bought The Simpsons, and they weeded out the people that they didn't want to do them and that did want to do them. And one of my teachers, one of the professors I had, or teachers at Otis Art Institute, my junior and senior year was Dave Willardson, who he and Charlie White were the grandfather of the modern day airbrush. Mm-hmm. And he had a studio in Glendale, and he did most of the Motley Crue album covers.
Really?
Yeah, he's famous, very famous. He's actually more now, even if he's still alive. He has a really cool studio in Glendale.
What's his name?
Dave Willardson. And anyway, I went to see him. I was out of school trying to make it on my own. I was doing, I got in 85, mm-hmm. and that was my dream, to be an artist. So my junior year in high school, my art teacher told me in high school, hey, there's this big California, they used to put on contests in school. And she goes, you should put in for this. You do great. So I did. And I won the whole state. Damn. And so when you won that, what you got was a month free summer tuition for the month in Otis Parsons. So I went.
I thought you were talking about the one where you used to draw like Daffy Duck on the back. Remember that one?
I won that too.
Was it La Bamba?
I did the one that was Bugs Bunny.
No, you did a real contest with a real school. Not you get a board. What do you call it? Artist board and some pencils.
Yeah. That one. But I did that when I was working later on. I'll tell you that story, but that's a funny one.
So you won an actual certified contest to go to a great school.
Yeah, I was actually put in Who's Who in America in 1985 for winning that.
Really?
But there's a book that's huge. It's all over the country. Anyway, so I win it. And I get to go to Otis. It's 2 days a week, 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday, the whole summer. So I go into my senior year, and I'm like, well, that's what I want to go there. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I apply, and my art teacher I had taken back then it was like our intro to art 1, 2, 3. So every elective that you could take. Yeah. I should have taken wood shop or auto mechanic, but I didn't. I took art the whole 4 years. So I apply to Otis. It comes up to my senior year where you get remember your schools had an art exhibit every year of all the art. Yeah. So I was in that, and I was looking. I did the annual for my year I graduated for high school. Did the cover of it, and I couldn't wait to do my own. The seniors got their own show if they wanted it.
Really?
So I had my own show. Mm-hmm. So I had my entire portfolio I'd submitted to Otis. I had the thing that I had won the junior year. I had that piece, and I had a bunch of pieces in there. So on the opening night, we go. I didn't win one award. No. There wasn't one.
Ribbon.
Nothing.
Nothing.
But by this time, I had already been accepted into Otis. I got in. So my teacher, she basically told the people from other art teachers from other schools that come in, and they're the one that they decide who wins what.
Yeah.
She told him he's already won. He's going to Otis. So they didn't nothing. So then remember they used to bring each class through?
Yeah.
Sometime during that week, first week. Well, all the kids, they kind of went around the school, and all the kids basically took all the things off all the other art, like, first place, second place, honorable mention, and they put them all in my. And so that's not cool either. I mean, I was like, well, I won the popular vote, right? Yeah. I won the popular vote. So that's how it started. That I won a contest, and in the state of California, won the whole state, and then I went to Otis, applied, got in.
You went to Cal High, right?
Yeah, California High School. So I do that. And after I graduate, I'm from art school. I was a illustration and communication design major. And while I was there, I went out on my own and took a furniture design class. And they promptly, like 4 weeks later, they told me I couldn't do it.
stood doing art painting and stuff because you suck at furniture, bro.
Well, they kicked me out of it because I had too many units, right?
I'm being funny because your furniture is like wrong. Because I think I can make furniture because I make furniture.
Well, you make this.
I make trash compared to you, man. No, your stuff belongs in museums.
I would have messed this up. As soon as you said I had to be at an angle,
every time you say, hey, this is what I made, I walk away thinking so little of myself.
Stop.
It's the truth.
You're pretty talented,
No,
too.
it's the truth. It's patience. I don't have the patience. You can sit there and make something look perfect. I'm already moved on to something else because I don't want to waste my time.
I appreciate that. I still need to work on my patience.
Nah, your furniture is amazing. Your art is amazing.
Well, you've used me. I mean, you've used me a lot. I did this. I did your book cover, which people should go into your link below your videos and check out his book. It's there. You can buy it. It's completely different from what you think it might be, but it's a damn good book.
I got a call at 3 o'clock in the morning time, and all I hear is, Adam, what the fuck is this? This is Danny. Okay, what's up, Danny? And it's Danny Duran. What's up, Danny? And I'm tired.
Danny Duran.
Danny Duran. He worked robbery team. And then,
I know.
And then the other person on the phone was G. Guerrero.
I was thinking of Batman when you said Danny.
Oh no, that's Danny Duran and Guillermo G. Guerrero. Guerrero. He worked prison gangs. Guerrero worked major prison gang, and Danny worked
the same G. Okay.
Yeah, so it's G and Danny.
This is a bad story now.
They're so happy, like loud, just screaming at the phone. We're in, I don't know where he said he was, like in LA somewhere. We're too drunk to drive.
Can you come get us?
Come get us.
No.
And I'm like, and they're laughing, just cracking up. And then G's too drunk, and I'm not going to drive him, just laughing. And I go, God. All right, where are you guys at? Because I'm like, I got to go get him, right? I have to go get him. You know that. And I said, where you at? And they just start laughing so much louder. I said, what the fuck? Just, you passed. Click.
You passed.
Like, you fuckers. And I called him up and said, we were calling people doing integrity checks all night long, seeing who would pick us up and who's down and who's not. He said, but you passed. So you asses. You know that's what they were doing the whole night, though.
Oh, my gosh.
They were at home.
Were they drinking or were they just
They're wasted. No, they're wasted. Okay. But they were like, hey, let's just see who.
See, that's why that guy ruins it for everybody. That guy.
They were at home. And they're like, we're just going to mess with all the guys that are, our buddies that we hang out with.
He screws up everything.
Anyways. So thanks for coming out, Mr. Dan. I know we've gone pretty far. We're getting in trouble.
I think you got about 10 minutes you can use.
I'm going to break it up.
That's about it.
I'm going to break it up to mini-series.
Hey, we should, on the road, we should rent an RV. Let's do it.
Let's do it, man.